Welcome to the Cultaholic Wrestling Podcast.
If you like talking about CM Punk every minute of the day, join our cult. Hello and welcome to the Cultaholic Wrestling Podcast, the most positive podcast in all of Cultaholic. You are listening and watching the dulcet tones of Maffew, joined special guest, no expense spared. Has nothing to do with the vicious rumours going around the place that due to some hostile takeover, money-grabbing bastards, it says here. I don't know. It's got nothing to do with the fact that that's not why Jack and Ross are here. Absolutely no. No. They're hanging out with Becky Lynch someplace. Unrelated to that, here's Tom Campbell.
It's what we want to happen.
And Andrew.
It's what we want to happen.
I forgot your surname.
It's okay, most people do.
Bless you.
No, it's Andrew. No, it's Hodkinson.
It's Hodkinson.
Thank you, pal.
Thank you.
Apart from your lack of surname, how the hell are you?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm not too bad. Thank you very much. It feels like it's been forever since I've been on the podcast, so it's lovely to be here and spend it with you and you this fine afternoon.
Oh, it's lovely having you. That little mayonnaise dip you get with your wedges from Greg's.
Ooh, garlic mayo though.
Oh,
That's where it's at.
You've just started, pal. We've got
I know.
to start off at mayo.
Then we get
Like
then
proper
we
the
finally
rapper.
get
You be
there.
rapping mayo, and then you go up the garlic if you're doing good. How the hell are you, mate?
I watched Mrs. Doubtfire this week.
Fantastic.
First time in a while.
Ooh,
Help is on the way, dear.
Help is on the way, dear.
Here's the thing, right? Could have avoided all of that drama in that third act if she'd said, "Oh, I'm sorry, dear. I can't come to your birthday party. I've got something else on, but let's do coffee the following day." Would have all been avoided. But no, didn't. It just needed to get that off my chest.
Is this your new thing? Like,
before we
rewrite?
started.
If Basil Fawlty just admitted that something was at fault, he wouldn't have to lie.
Do you know what? Yeah. If Frank Spencer had maybe got an expert in, if he'd maybe got a builder in,
Yeah, the lads of the summer wine, if they'd actually put some,
not
a break on the bath.
I will not hear the slander of Last of the Summer Wine. It happens for a reason, Matthew.
I'm a big
Right.
fan of Richard Herring on Twitter, and obviously Last of the Summer Wine is a sitcom about sort of the twilight years of people living in Yorkshire, and obviously and therefore you need actors in their twilight years. So you do have it where members of the cast do pass away. And whenever that's happened, Richard Herring's always tweeted out, "The curse of the Last of the Summer Wine strikes again! The curse strikes again!"
Oh,
Always made me chuckle. The curse strikes again. Anyway, wrestling, eh?
wrestling. How are you doing, though?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
you?
doing mint. I went to see Sabaton in the bloody Leeds Arena, which is a lovely little arena.
It's good, isn't it?
Someone called it the, I think it was Capricorn 71 on Twitch, called it the ELO. What do you mean? You go LO? He goes, no, on Electric Light Orchestra's album with a spaceship. It looks like that. And I went, you're right. You're so clever.
I thought it was in Yorkshire. They went yellow.
Hello.
Again, that's what I'm like being offensive. And they're like, no, idiot. But no, it's a nice little arena because you go. It sounds daft for an arena, but you go in, you go around there, and then there it is. There's the stage. It's nice and simple. Not all arenas are like that. So Sabaton.
Were they singing songs about forgotten battles of Europe that no one ever talks about?
It's funny you say that, Tom. Yes. Yes, they did. And they were having a bloody lovely time doing it. They reminisced of all the people the guy just like, well, first time we played in Leeds 10 years ago. Because he's,
Where's he from?
He's from Leeds.
Okay.
Why does he sound like
We
that?
played, whatever accent I'm going to go for, it's not going to sound like it.
First time we played in Leeds.
Yeah. Zach Dingle was on bass, and he went, first time we played to Leeds.
Trina.
The last time I was in Leeds and played a gig in Leeds with my band, and Zach Dingle was on the tip. So we went for a drink at, I can't remember where it was now. We went for a drink. It might have been like Nation of Shopkeepers or something. We went for
Was
a
it the
drink.
meat and two drums?
It wasn't. We sat on a table, and then adjacent to us came in Zach Dingle. Zach Dingle came in and sat on a table on his own, had a little glass of red wine, and then just left.
That's an incredible celebrity encounter.
Starstruck.
He went, sorry, I can't stay. I'm going to see Sabaton. And he said there were, first time I played in Leeds 10 years ago, there were 68 people paid and tickets were £5.
Wow.
And he said he went to look at the venue that they played at, and it no longer exists. So it's probably a Subway or something. He said, well, there's 10,000 people here, so hope you have a lovely time. And everyone went,
Wholesome boys.
That's cool.
yeah. Baby Metal were supporting.
Yes.
They were bloody lovely.
I love that Baby Metal are over here. They announced like dates. They're doing like some UK dates, aren't they? And I saw London, Wolverhampton. Like, Baby Metal doing Wolvo. We love Baby Metal, we do.
I want to see them so bad.
Love Baby Metal.
So bad.
They're great, aren't they?
They are so good. Their new album's mint as well. Really, really good. So I'm jealous.
So it was lovely going there and hanging out with my brother because he's bloody amazing.
I didn't know you had a brother.
He's not into wrestling. If
So-
he was,
so he's dead to me.
If he was into wrestling and he had that type of level of, let me put it another way, if he had patience, it'd be 5 times more successful. He'd be punching KSI in the face. Not a boxing event, he'd just go up to him. Because he's just minces words. Loved seeing him having a great time in Sabaton.
Nice.
And he got to meet my mates for about 5 seconds before he needed to catch his train. It was great. He goes,
Oh.
it was mint. So
how
happy. Nothing but good vibes. So we'll ruin that by looking at the wrestling news. Report 45,000 sign up for AEW All-In pre-sale.
Ooh.
It says here is why we get paid. It's with the news monkeys get paid the big monies. All In could be a major success for AEW. So yeah, 45,000 so far. Ooh.
Wembley,
Apparently
that'd
it's
be
only
big deal in
UK
Wembley.
and Ireland that can sign up for it. Is what I got.
Oh,
told.
really?
Maybe that was it's not here the Cultaholic thing. So much of the trust that.
I don't know because there's SRS has bought his hotel and stuff for the London. So
we go, but we can't get it.
Yeah. So Sean Ross App's heading our way. So I presume people from across the pond.
Yeah.
Shall we go greet him? But we're all dressed like the Dingles. For a brief while, he's like, "Oh, it's just what London's like." Right? Oh, okay.
just like Peaky Blinders. Turf boy.
No, that's too sophisticated. We got a guy with an accordion and everything. It's like,
An accordion?
to greet him. Taking away to Heathrow. You know, like when you go land in Hawaii, and you can pay to have the hello thing. But like we've got the proper London entrance. There really scraps King and Queen of the Ring pay-per-view concept. Well, it wasn't a pay-per-view, was it? Really, it was the tournament. Probably would have.
Well, it was
going to be in Saudi Arabia.
The event was going to be called King and Queen of the Ring.
Was it? Thank you very much. I
Yes.
wasn't even aware of that. This is why Cultaholic's so great.
This is why us news monkeys work hard.
They really do. The best of times, the blurst of times. And so it's now Night of Champions.
Which makes me think that it's going to be, because I think that's when Roman's 1,000 days is, when he hits that 1,000 days. So maybe they're sort of going to celebrate that in some capacity. And I think me and Tom were on the news and we were saying that King and Queen of the Ring, not that it's not got big stars on it, because, it's a tournament, but Saudi Arabia like the big stars, don't they? So I imagine they'll want all the champions there for a big old showdown.
Yeah, they don't know who they are.
Yeah.
in Saudi Arabia. So, 2 words for you at this event. Goldberg.
Oh.
WWE NXT draws record low ratings on USA Network, which had me go, oh, God, Ross is going to be gutted. Clearly, he didn't want to show up today.
He's so ill at that, he's not here.
Yeah. He's still crying. It wasn't because there was the NBA tournament game playing, in fairness. It wasn't just like no one was playing, but it doesn't really work now. Ross isn't here, so let's move on. CM Punk jokes about never watching a Rocky movie. Somehow CM Punk has gone through life without ever watching a Rocky movie, despite being the target audience and age for it. Taking to social media, Punk posts an image of Rocky Balboa after his win over Apollo Creed with his head superimposed over Stallone's face. He. CM Punk also had what looked like a bloody Lowe's, so he may have also been boxing.
Also never seen a Rocky film. I've never seen a Rocky film before.
That's fair enough.
Yeah? That's
Yeah.
fair. It's okay.
Well, you're like, as I said, it's okay for youngins like yourself not to have watched it.
Youngins,
Yes.
but I'm nearly 30 though. I feel like maybe I should have
look
done.
at you.
Oh, here we
You're nearly
go.
30. Oh, my heart bleeds
Here
for
we
you.
go.
Well, you haven't seen Rocky? Well, no, I watch Teletubbies.
Well, I did, to be fair.
Me too, man.
Do you realise when we watch Mrs. Doubtfire, which will be a recurring theme in this podcast, when we watch Mrs. Doubtfire, Alex, my wife-to-be, sat on the sofa and can't believe this is 20 years old. And I went, it's 30. She went, no,
Wait,
it's
no.
20.
When did it come out?
And
Like 91 or
And
2,
she went
right?
on her hand, she went, hang on, 90, it was 90s, 93,
Hey,
2003,
all right,
2013. And she went, no, 30, it's 30 years old. 30 years old, Mrs. Doubtfire. I know, right? Old as you.
Old as me.
Yeah.
Me and my mum, like that was one of the films that my mum used to watch when I was growing up. We bonded over it, like the montage and where they're doing all the stuff together, and it's to dude looks like a lady.
Yeah.
Best, so good.
Oh, that's so
good.
I always thought I admired the guy who makes the outfit, I guess, because he's like, "Oh, sweetie, I'm gonna make this outfit." I was like, what? I was like, Mum, what's wrong with him?
He's in the running to play Barry the Shark's mum in Barry the Shark the movie. I love you, son.
Yeah.
Love you too, Mom.
I'm here to help. Brandon Cutler has voiced opinion on CM Punk gaslighting AEW. One of Deadspin Twitter account, Deadspin's still going, stated that CM Punk is gaslighting AEW, and Brandon Cutler quote tweeted going, "Someone gets it," then deleted it while presumably yelling, "Retreat, retreat." The tweet of Brandon Cutler has been deleted. I thought I'd just get out the way because I'll go online, I see some people talking, and then I see CM Punk and I'll leave. And
well, that's not even the end.
All people are me talking about, and there's nothing been confirmed yet.
But that's not even that's not even the end of the CM Punk flavored news, rumors, and innuendo for the week, because there's all this conversation about AEW's third show that has done the rounds.
That's right.
So I don't know whether
there's going to be a soft. It was going to be a soft draft, and now it's a hard draft. I guess when you go, what type of taco do you want? Because I guess they realised how big the roster is and goes, oh, we could have a perfectly good third brand that CM Punk could just do whatever he wants to, I guess.
Yeah.
And then hopefully he will leave us alone. I believe we had that in history. It was called the Munich Agreement. So let's see if it works all right for AEW.
I enjoy how the grand picture, the CM Punk solution is right. We're going to make a new show on a Saturday, and he can go and do that. And then on the day of recording, like Tony Khan's been talking about Thunder Rosa, saying like she's got issues backstage, and I can imagine like Thunder coming in first day back, and Tony going, "Oh right. I mean, we could do a Wednesday. We could do a Tuesday show for you."
Look, we're not saying we're still got issues with you, but can you go to the CM Punk show?
Is the CM Punk show going to be like detention?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
That's a good show.
Imagine that.
Do you ever had this at school? This might be a Northeast thing, I'm not sure, but like when we had the school inspectors come round.
You all hide?
Ofsted. No. Was it just our school that did this? I'd love to hear people in the comments. This happened multiple times at Bishop Auckland's King James. Yeah, I'm naming you. When Ofsted were coming around, we had a look, and it was announced in the assembly. The following students will be going to a special, because they've worked so hard. And I think, well, I'm Swatty McSwat. I'm the guy that Dennis the Menace beats up. I'll be going on this. He look and goes, hang on. It's all the lads who inhale aerosols during the lunch break. Hang on. And all the kids knew. It wasn't like, I don't understand. Every kid knew what it was. And it was like, you know, people like their mates ringing up going, I know you weren't going to come in today, but there's a free trip to Thorpe Park if you come in.
That
was it.
Scruffy Harrison sat at Wet and Wild doing some colouring in going, I'm a well smart kid. I am.
It's like, well, we have worked hard. And I was like, no, you haven't.
Oh my God! Wow. Not even discreet.
No, even everyone knew, and the teachers were like, well, no, just trying to avoid eye contact. You're like, all right.
So that's what this Saturday show is going to be.
13, isn't it? Like, but, yeah. So that's what that'll be like.
It's going to be the naughty kids show. I can't wait.
I'm not saying you guys are unlikable and no one likes you and we had to get along, but you are getting a free trip to Epcot. Speaking of big stars, Gangrel going to make his North Wrestling debut. Yes!
Come on!
Northeast Wrestling legend Gangrel
Of the Gangrel!
is going to be part of the biggest show of North Wrestling's history at the Walker Activity Dome.
Yes!
Seats around 3,000, but tickets are going fast. So, they're on sale now. Go get them.
NorthWrestling.co.uk for North NCL Thunderstruck. Oh, it's going to be good!
And if you're not able to, because you might hang out with Sharma Sapp in London, don't worry, it will be on Fight TV later on. You can buy it there.
Yeah.
Just give us your money. I don't work for NCL. Brian Cage's new AEW deal has been revealed. It's been extended to a 5-year deal.
Wow.
This man is falling upwards.
Undesirable to undeniable.
To unkillable.
To unsackable.
Yeah. Considering when he first started was in Team Taz, and near the end, Taz and Excalibur were publicly making jokes about him, thinking he'd gone. And it's like, no, he's re-signed, or he's back. And even Brian Cage seems surprised by this.
His wife was on Instagram, was it Instagram Live going, you need to book me husband, brother.
Yeah, I remember
So like
that.
even she's kicked off about it.
Yeah.
And now he's like, all right, I'll stick around for 5 years and just get confused a little longer.
What a great wife.
What a great wife.
Everybody needs somebody like that in their lives. Just like, excuse me, Brian Cage asked for no pickles. Drew McIntyre's blacked out Twitter amidst rumors of leaving WWE.
I know.
And that's all we have. That really. In terms of news and updates.
No, as far as I know, that's pretty much all it is. There was a contract. Apparently, there was something the PW Insider said where they've not yet met on terms for a new contract.
But it runs out next year. It needs to be said. It's just obviously like to get them re-signed as soon as possible.
But there's obviously something to be said for the fact that like this is all like it seems like there's a sticking block now. I wonder whether because obviously Drew had that big push during lockdown. 2020 was like the year where he was the guy that put the company on his back, and I don't know whether there's a position for him at the top of the tree.
Yeah, maybe.
Currently, or even going forward, they might just kind of go, we see you like a bit lower down now, and Drew might go, well, fine then. There's a show in Wembley happening. Might go over there.
You feel bad as well as like, well, I did have this entire thing where you sacked me or I left, and I went elsewhere, made a big name, and came back, and I thought that could be a good start. Oh, hi, Cody Rhodes. We
just reverse it and we dye Drew's hair blonde and send him off to AEW.
And just call him Cody.
Yeah. Cody McRhodes.
Cody of the Bruce. It's like, I left twice. Damn it, he's stronger somehow.
Get yourself back to Impact, Drew. Get going again.
Yeah. John Morrison wins boxing match
Yes.
at, what was this called? Creator Clash 2. Do you know who he fought?
I can't.
The guy from Epic Meal Time.
That's right,
Harley,
the guy with the beard from Epic Mealtime, circa 7-8 years ago.
On the same card that featured Aaron Hansen from Game Grumps.
And he won this year as well.
Yeah.
He boxed again. After
Yeah.
last time, I thought you'd never want to see a ring ever again.
No, he won.
He is not so grump this time. He won.
Ah, man, the game punch.
Did you see the fellow that Morrison was up against? Like at the end, I think Morrison hits him and he literally falls out of the ring.
Yeah.
Which is wow.
He got him good.
He did.
The big story from that being that John Morrison's corner guy was Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
There was a lot of people there.
LA Knight.
Yeah.
LA Knight.
Josh Barnett.
Cross.
Taya Valkyrie. No, he was happy. Karen was there. Just quit now.
It's going to be a good podcast today. We're all on one.
And it was good because the commentators were like, just marking out, going, "Oh wow, it's Jim Duggan." Like, yay!
I get it.
Like, why not mark out for this? It's all.
Why
it's the
not?
Game Grumps guys boxing. This isn't a professional event.
How dare you?
I mean, yes, it was. And then I believe I didn't check this, but I have just remembered. What's his name from NXT season 1? They say if we can.
Darren Bateman.
He was
Darren
there.
Bateman.
Thank you. He was there as a Crash Bandicoot.
Is that who was in the?
I got told it was.
No way.
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I can confirm without checking or doing any amount of research, but it's just popped in my head. We'll check that during the break.
He was Crash Bandicoot, you say? Whoa!
Oh. My goodness.
Tom's being really annoying this week.
No.
Switched off.
How did you think that? Did you use your
Be
corner
back
dance?
next week when Ross is back.
Thank you, Andrew. Similar to what we're doing now, Dax Harwood announces he's ending the podcast. This is a rather nice way to go out. Did you listen to any of it, by the way?
I
didn't,
know that
actually.
I think the general consensus with Tony Khan and AEW is that the podcast started with good intentions to kind of shine a light on wrestling and mental health, but the general vibe is it's done more harm than good. So they're kind of cutting their losses there, which is a shame. I did enjoy. I think Dax Harwood's a wonderful orator.
Yeah.
I enjoy listening to him, and he's got a lot of things to say. I think there's a lot of frustration I sense from him, and I don't know how healthy it is for him.
Imagine
you know what I
if
mean.
you decided to do a podcast about working for Cultaholic whilst you're working for Cultaholic, and we all heard it, and you're like, "Hey, Andrew," and Andrew heard what you said about him.
He's a lovely man that took great care of my cat.
Right, yeah. That's exactly what
take
happens.
that.
But yeah, you spend an hour and a half saying positive things. That 20 seconds you said, well, this one time you didn't open the door for me. It's like, Andrew, biggest bastard of Cultaholic.
I can't imagine it because I wouldn't have time.
Yeah. But I thought it was nice that he went and talked about stuff with, the idea of being a performer and having to go online and seeing the things that people are saying about you. Spoilers if you've heard the podcast, it's mostly horrible. It was interesting, the fact that he wanted to leave, wants to leave the world a better place than when he found it. Doing this podcast where he works this is not helping it. Again, especially, he did say, well, there's a lot of that because of Brian Alvarez and the other wrestling reporters. Did you hear or see Alvarez's little rant?
I didn't know.
Oh, it was quite wonderful. Ooh.
I don't know whether it's, obviously Alvarez has been mentioned because Alvarez and Meltzer and such are kind of, those are the names. And they're just that's sort of they're considered. And I think there's an argument for, this whole thing can sometimes do more harm than good.
If you if you spend yourself too much time in the echo chamber where you hear this guy's report, read this, and then it's you can definitely lead yourself to lots of anxiety and mental health issues, which is what Dax touched upon even, easy for me to say, which I thought was very nice because of things that you and Ross have said in your podcast and stuff like that. I thought it was a nice thing to do. Just to remind people, don't spend all your time social media. You will go crazy.
No, you got to come away.
And not in a cool way like Hunter S. Thompson, in a bad way. So it's easy to remember, like, at the end of the day, you're doing this because you like wrestling and you want to like wrestling. Or see GIFs or see signs of people saying Super Metroid sucks or something on AEW. But no, nice podcast. Shame at the end, but it's ending for the right reasons.
Yeah.
And then the thing I'm ending on, because there's a lot of news this week. Omos is an artist. See this?
Oh, yes. I certainly did.
I saw the thing. Omos's art Instagram has been found. And you're like, oh, here we go. What's it going to be? Is it going to be lewds? No. He's a weeb. He's an Animu. Yay!
He loves Demon Slayer and Naruto and all sorts.
And people tweet him going, oh, would you recommend? He's giving recommendations.
Yeah.
They're like, yes.
It feels so weird because it's like, because he is a human outside of being a giant monster in wrestling.
But all we've seen is him going like, fee, fi, fo, fum.
Yeah.
That's it. Like, it's like, I like anime. It's like, yes.
Like, that's so cool though. And he's a really good drawer as well. He's a really good artist. Yeah.
So do you think WWE should somehow incorporate his love for anime into what he does?
Absolutely.
Just grabs a random member of the women's roster and goes, your waifu. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what happens in the anime, Tom.
As you can tell,
my waifu.
As you can tell, anime is
No, you've got
My
it down
bag.
to a T. Down to a T.
Yeah, Papa Lazarus in the anime. You're my waifu now.
You're my waifu now, Dave. Oh, I bet someone's done Papa Lazarus in an anime way. Nani? I know that.
Oh, that's I know
that's
one.
That's when Big Lad sees another Big Lad.
It's when Omar starts coming out with an MVP body pillow. That's when we've got to start sort of worrying at least a little bit, I think.
So it has to be like a really big pillow, though.
Yeah.
That wouldn't do anything, one.
It'd just be like a cotton.
It's got an army of pillows of them. I've got an anime bed. Yeah, good for him. See, he's not just weirdos like us.
It's weirdos like him too.
Yeah, he's... Wow, what a great news section. I can't believe there's even more of the podcast to come.
I can.
When's it coming? Right now.
All over your face.
My wife.
My waifu.
Take my waifu, please.
Take my waifu, please. Oh, look out. My waifu's mother is coming over.
Waifu-in-law.
Nani-in-law.
Waifu-in-law, that's how it works.
My waifu-in-law.
My waifu-in-law is stuck in the...
My wife-in-law.
My waifu-in-law is stuck in the washing machine again.
Oh, no.
Trouble in Japan.
It's easy when you're dick in Japan. Oh, you're dick in Japan. Dick in Japan.
I thought you were saying hold your dick in Japan.
in Japan.
I thought you were saying that as well.
Now I'm singing the classic song Big in Japan, but adding Dick in Japan. Oh, it's Dick in Japan. Just trying to beef up the segment.
Spice it up.
Spice the segment a bit. Refresh it.
Richard has done the following things over the last 7 days. Rode his bicycle to places. Stunning notes here. Maybe looked at some, here we go, okonomiyaki. Maybe visited okonomiyaki. I don't know what the right phrasing is, as I'm not sure what okonomiyaki is. Changed his sleeping place.
He sleeps there now.
Feel free to click it. There we go.
There he goes.
Thank
he
you very much.
on that boat.
There's Thunderbird 2.
That looks like the place.
8 heavy noodle dishes 2 days in a row. The fat bastard. Other things. clearly, we're as interested segment as you are at home. Oh, look at the food.
Look at the nice food. That does look good. Oh
my God, what happened to
his
your hand?
What?
Jesus Christ, are you all right?
There's the real story there. What if that's not Richard Tubman's hand?
It actually looks like a rotisserie chicken.
Could you imagine if Richard Tubman has just been replaced on his Instagram by somebody completely different and we don't know because we haven't seen a picture of him?
What? And he like comes back to the office and it's someone completely
It's someone
different.
completely different, but going, oh no, it's me, it's Richard Tubman. Like, what? Exactly.
Hi, it's me, Richard Manning Tuban.
He's currently at the Agrophobics Anonymous Festival.
There we go. Thank you, Dan. We need to get the scoops. Wait, who are you? Wait,
Logged in. So
Dan's
logged in as
All right,
Joel
Joel's on
Holland.
it. Joel's asking the hard questions.
Anybody we can DM
All right,
with Joel
well,
Holland's account?
As he gets stuck in
I think
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes starting himself.
I think he fell into some bees.
I had some of that bee soup. Ooh. It's not agreed with
I
me.
didn't say bee soup. I said pea soup. Oh, what a circumstance I find myself in.
King Kong's balls. So that's them in Japan. Jack in England, where he usually is, has finished his walk.
Yeah,
well done,
Needs to be
Jack.
said. Fan-bleed-tastic job. We are all very proud of you, Jack. Your lovely little diary, I guess.
Yeah, he's done blogs, hasn't he, of his trip so far, and they've been really good to read. You even got a shout out in one of them.
Yeah, because I started reading them on stream, and it was great because at the start of it, he's doing the Jack thing of, hey, I walked past someone, and I looked at him, he looked at me, and I looked away. I thought about that moment for the next 7 hours, and you're like, it is just a wonderful insight into his head, like, because as you all said, what would he be like with self-confidence? And we know what he would be. He'd be Fraser. But at the end of that, though, he was typing confidently. He was like, yeah, I'm doing this. I'm so proud of the things I've done. And it's like, wonderful. What if he comes to the podcast next week? Actually, that would be nice, given this week. But like, what if he shows up? That'd be nice. But then what if he's just like, yeah, this has really changed my life.
And he immediately just punches Fraser in the face.
I'm not going to Jack the Job. I'm Jack the Champ.
Jack the Champ, yeah.
Yeah.
It was. I got to chat to him a couple of times because we had him on BBC Radio Newcastle doing updates. So on his rest days, I'd give him a call when I was on air, and we'd talk about the walk and stuff like that. He's raised several £1,000s for the National Autistic Society. He's absolutely smashed his target.
Yeah. So thank you to everybody who's donated as well.
Yeah, thank you if you have done as well. It's for a really worthy cause, something really close to Jack's heart as well. We are incredibly proud of our boy Jack. Never been prouder.
Well done, lad.
Everybody get excited for the Cultaholic Hall of Fame!
That's the noise Jack did when he sat down for the first time.
My leggies. You can imagine him saying that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
My leggies.
My feetsies.
My feetsies, yes. Yes.
This man 50 cc's of chalky muffin stand.
Oh, no. The Hall of Fame. In condescending order from last week, the Sean Ross Sap Pop, 28%. He's getting a lot of love this week.
I love that Sean Ross Sap Pop.
Fraser's dad marking out overseeing Andrew.
I don't understand what this is. No, I haven't heard
31%. Fraser said that because his dad watches this, there's a lovely channel that we're all part of, he drove past you. And I don't think he didn't honk his horn because he wouldn't have known who he was.
Yeah.
But he sent a message to his son going, I've just seen Andrew.
Oh,
my
that's
God.
really sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really
I didn't know you didn't know.
No, I had no idea, honestly.
Well, yeah, good showing.
Yeah,
nothing,
good show,
31%. And Cult U's win over Jumperium inside War Games on that 2K23 stream, though he did EXO, 41%. What a stream.
You picking up the win there as well in that match.
That's a small part of the reason why I did that. It's also just the lovely comments and stuff. The reading the live chats. I'm going to be like, come on, we can do it. We can do it. Be like, wow, people really get into these.
It was
things.
it was really, really fun. It was really, really fun. And you and Ben did a mint job on commentary.
You did an
as well.
amazing job.
First time
So
us working
good.
together, and we must do it again.
You must do it again, please.
Sad at the fate of Mr. Powerful, Alan Powerful, getting a shoe in from Barbara Pierce. Triple J livid about that.
Why not? That's like I feel like getting a shoe-in from Barbara Piss is when people sort of thirst over Rhea Ripley. It's like that's the thing that you want to. It's the thing that you actually want to happen.
People will pay for it.
Don't hurt me, but wrap your legs round my neck.
So people are like, oh no, I've fallen.
That was your Tinder bio. That was back in the day.
Oh no, Count Demet's Kresk is going to come get me.
Oh no.
But yeah, no, that was a wonderful thing there, and it's good seeing the Sam the Taker.
Yeah,
so good.
Sam the Taker versus Brian Bumpus and Dick Machenko.
Yeah.
What fun that was
Well
to call.
done.
What fun that was to watch.
And Jack is still wearing the gear, not because no one's bothered to change him, because he looks good.
Riding that high. Still riding that high.
That's it, man. That's what we're going to do. Riding high again. We're going to keep on riding it. My pick for Hall of Fame was a bit from last week's podcast. Wow, really getting into it. Would you please play it, Dan?
A bit from last week's podcast.
This got clipped by someone lovely onto interwebs. It was young. Young Kane.
Oh, this is
Come on,
fabulous.
Now, we all love Ross. And we all have our different, knowledges of things and stuff like that. We know that Ross doesn't, watch Marvel films, for example, and stuff like that. So it was just, out of nowhere, just this little interaction. God, I'm glad I got my hair cut.
Well, he wants to put that on his shelf. Why would he let someone destroy that?
I'm sure there was a character.
He's full of. He's got big ego.
There's a character in
We're
Star
really
Wars.
fighting for this.
I'm sure there's a character in Star Wars, right, who was aligned with the Jedis and then turned out to be aligned with Darth Maul.
That's Anakin.
Is that
He's
shut
not-
the front door? Is it?
Later on, he
Yeah.
turned,
The whole thing is Anakin Skywalker ends up being... Oh, am I spoiling this?
But Palpatine.
I've only ever seen the one with.
Are you going to watch any of them?
Nah.
This is a spoiler from 70 years ago. Anakin Skywalker ends up turning into Darth Vader.
Are you genuine?
I've only seen episode.
I love you
Right,
so
Ross.
much.
I've only seen episode one all the way through.
You know the whole Luke, I am your father.
It all makes sense.
We're getting the podcast there, to be honest with you.
Palpatine
Yeah,
is-
then
is-
that's it. Yeah, it was just like, Palpatine,
Amazing.
is he? What else has he been? And we were like, the Emperor from Star Wars in all three different versions.
Wait till we tell him that Mrs. Doubtfire and the dad are two different people.
I don't get it. Why couldn't she work with
Does she look like Robin Williams?
They never see him at the same time. Why is that? They're not like each other. Is it like CM Punk in the Elite?
Yeah, this is that confirmed. Mrs. Doubtfire doing AEW Collision.
All the greats. CM Punk, Thunder Rosa, Mrs. Doubtfire.
Dennis the Menace.
So it was just the sweetness, the beautiful naivety of Ross having Star Wars explained to him.
If ever you need to light a dark room, the light bulb going off above Ross's head, the moment that he mentions Darth Vader, that could light a small country.
That was not as good as Fraser going, well, that's Anakin Skywalker. Shut the front door. He's only seen episode 1. I love him so much.
Love that. That's
Incredible.
a great pick for Hall of Fame.
Thank you for clipping it.
It's not you don't often see that sort of innocence either, do you? That sort of the
Right,
thing
that's
just,
another thing. That's the thing about Ross. There's no pretension with him. He is what you see is what you get. Unlike Mrs. Doubtfire. So that is my pick for Hall of Fame. Andrew, I guess I'll say you were technically second place.
Yeah, of
so
course.
you can go next.
Well, I actually so I had no idea what this was, but because I saw Fraser sort of nominating his dad for the Hall of Fame, it is coming up on the anniversary of a fantastic message that I got from my mum regarding my dad as well. So I was like, well, let's put something in there. If you would like to pull the messages up now, there's 2 messages. So this is the first one. Now, a little backstory. My dad is not a baker. Oh God, your dad's decided to bake. There's my dad. Usually he is dressed in farm garb, covered in cow poo and tarmac and all sorts of stuff. He's a grafter, right? He don't often get into the baking bowl and the flour. So here we go. Oh God, your dad's decided to bake. This is at 1:15 in the afternoon. This was a few years ago at this point, but he's got his glasses on. He's ready to go. And then Dan, if you would like to change to the next one. He's only gone and set the electric whisk on fire. So that's in the bloody bin now. And that's 1:37. So this took him 17 minutes.
On for 17 minutes. Yeah, that'll do it.
For everything to go tits up. And that is
how it started, how it's going.
exactly, and that is the story of my dad. Best intentions, but often it reminds me of The Simpsons. You know where Homer's trying to cook for Mr. Burns, and the cornflakes set on fire. That's a tale of my dad right there.
That's beautiful. I also like your mum doing like a barbed wire fence of X's just to make sure the electric whisk is on fire and can't get out.
I love how many kisses your mum puts at the end of messages.
Oh,
That's
she's
lovely.
She's a lovely.
He needs to know.
He needs to
know. I love that.
Can you do that with whisks? I'm so worried now.
Well, apparently so. You can set electric whisk. I guess it's electric, so it could set on fire. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I know read the instructions like, warning, don't do this with your whisk.
I imagine he would have seen that and then gone, well, we'll test that out, won't we?
Like a dad does.
I love challenge.
No, that's it. So, yeah.
Instructions are for city folk.
Short and sweet there.
You see an electric whisk, I see free cake and an effing challenge.
Bless him.
Tries to use a whisk on a cow.
I was literally about to say that then.
Hey, look,
he's just not going in.
Whipped cream.
But I think I know how he did it, because like a very dad type thing. Because I'd be like that. I'd be like, this whisk is taking ages. Is there a way I can make it whisk faster? And probably would have like really grounded it.
Oh, yeah.
Moved it around and knocked it. Come on. Oh, God. Because I want to get it done quicker. As dads and blokes, we just want to get it done. Just get it done.
I like Maffew's sort of thing there, where with the whipped cream, he just skips the part where the cream comes out of the cow. He just puts the cow in the bowl. Let's try and get it out of him that
Things
way.
on fire goes, these are rubbish. That's nice. I also appreciate seeing your dad wearing his hoodie indoors. It's like, I do that, but I'm not a farmer. It's getting that age. Oh, that's a good pick.
Thank
you for sharing.
You.
Tom, what have you got?
Well, third place in the Hall of Fame for next week. Spoiler. I kind of thought I could just try and rig this in my favour and go, my Hall of Fame pick is those two's Hall of Fame picks just now. Because I was going to put Jack in, right?
Oh, you could do.
What a phenomenal...
that's a cheap
No,
one.
no, but what a phenomenal thing that he
Sherry
did.
will
And no hyperbole, genuinely, I've never been prouder of him. He raised thousands and thousands of pounds for an incredible charity. And he did something that I think has really been physically, emotionally, mentally good for him as well. Mm-hmm. And we all desperately want to try and find those little things that help us get through the day a little bit quicker, a little bit better, a little bit wiser, and finish the day a little bit stronger. And Jack has really done that, and he's really inspired me this week. And I really wanted to put Jack into the Hall of Fame for that reason. But then I saw for the first time Stone Cold E.T. Dan, if you could do the honours.
There's no honour here.
There is all honour here. It is with Stone Cold E.T.
Oh, it's on TikTok now, of course it is.
Of course it is.
This is Stone Cold E.T. and I want to order a couple cheeseburgers, and that's the bottom line. Because Stone Cold E.T. like to come to White Castle, order a couple cheeseburgers to fill me up before I whoop some ass. Give me a hell yeah if you're down with Stone Cold E.T. Oh, hell yeah! Cause Stone Cold E.T. likes whooping ass. When Stone Cold E.T. rides a bicycle, I ride it long, I ride it hard, just like the Texas rattlesnake when he's done whooping Vince McMahon's ass. Give me a, oh, hell yeah. What'd you say, E.T.? What? What'd you say, E.T.? What? I said I want to order 2 cheeseburgers, and that's the bottom line. Cause no Stone Cold love a little White Castle burger with a little onion, with a little meat on it. Cause there's nothing like Stone Cold Steve Austin eating those little White Castle burgers. Stone Cold like a little White Castle action. Well, I'm busy fighting off the aliens when I'm busy being a crap out.
He goes to shut the window on him.
He's gonna whoop some ass. Give me a hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Stone Cold E.T. is gonna whoop some ass. And that's the bottom line.
I just love how uninhibited he is by it all. How, even though no one is biting on it, he's doing it anyway. I love the spirit of it. I have since learned that's not new. I should have known because it was filmed on a potato.
This is your version of what Anakin Skywalker is Darth Vader.
Yeah, it actually
hello.
is.
Over 10 years old, that was back when he was getting booked at those companies with Mr. Belling from Saved by the
Mr.
Bell.
Belding.
And Joey Janela when he was dressed up as Starman.
Starman,
for the
yeah.
Wrestling
Wow,
Games.
it's that
That's
old.
that period of indie wrestling.
But
Joey
I-
Janela went to AEW. That guy's still probably ordering a Whataburger.
I sat on my
Go on.
sofa the other night watching that. That came up, and I just was in tears laughing. And Alex is sat next to me going, "What are you watching?" And then she watches and goes, "Yeah, are you all right?" I was like,
good.
"No." And I've since and he's done others. He's done like return videos and stuff like that. He's done a couple since then. But that's the jam. That's the original. It's the OG. So we've got to get Stone Cold ET in the Hall of Fame. I mean, I know he's not this week because there's strong contestants
I
all
don't know.
around, but.
It's when he talks, and obviously because the mouth doesn't move, it's like the bottom bit of the mask just like moves.
There
a
were
little
those
bit.
frogs.
Yeah.
It's akin to I feel bad. His name's fallen right out of my head, and it was the comedian who's no longer with us. Had the Papa Mache head.
Frank Sidebottom.
Frank Sidebottom.
yeah.
Where like Frank Sidebottom would be so aggressive, but he had this lovely smiley face on it. He's like, "Kick your head in, I will," and he's just smiling at you, and it's like it's got that sort of energy to it. He just, I love the energy of the guy who went, "I've got this ET mask. I'm just going to rock up to the drive-in."
That's the thing,
and do a
like,
Steve Austin impression.
Where does that combination come from as well? It's
It's
so
a weird
good.
part of your mind, and I applaud it. As old as it is, you know what? Like how Mrs. Doubtfire is 30 years old. That is old,
She's looking good.
but still good. Stone Cold
see,
ET for Hall of Fame.
Me being a single person who's done jobs like that, part of me wants to see.
What, driven up to a drive-through with Stone Cold ET?
No. Just I'm not looking at that guy. I'm looking at the people in the background going, "Look, I'm not getting paid enough for this."
Yeah.
Like, all right, can you order? And he's just like, "What? Vince McMahon, what?" And then for some reason, though, I'm sympathizing with them. But then none of them can shut a window. That is actually attacking them at one point, I think. ET's distracting, and that's trying to get the register. So
I wouldn't mind that because working in Tesco, boring as all. You try and get conversation out of people and everything, and you get so if someone rocks up in a Stone Cold as Stone Cold ET, I'm all for it.
You're
I'm
in
ready.
that,
I'm
yeah.
ready for the ride. You know.
I like them saying as well, like, "No, we can't serve you if you're wearing a mask."
And he just goes, "Well, I'm cooking, Mr. McMahon." Ignores it completely. Full steam ahead. You say you worked at a restaurant?
Not like that, but like other jobs where you have to deal with nutters.
I was going to ask whether you'd had anybody on playing drive-through roulette.
Drive-through roulette. What's
What's
that?
Oh, fun time. Drive-through roulette. So you go to a drive-through and you say, "Can I have what the car in front had? But don't tell me what it was. Just charge me for it." And then you see what you get.
Oh.
Fun little game for you to try at home.
Oh.
Drive-through roulette. Spread the good word of drive-through roulette.
Because sucking the come around is just a coffee. Like,
Yeah, that's it. Like it could go really well. Like you could get like several family meals, or it could just be like an orange juice and a bag of apples. Like, gosh darn it. Drive-through roulette.
lovely. I
There
did
you
like the
go.
fact that TikTok account was called Fish Be Swimming.
Just in case you forget what they do.
Those are three good picks. And I think we can get away with putting Jack as an honorary member of the Hall of Fame. Jack's big walk.
Jack's big.
Yeah.
Well, so there's 4 nominations this week.
No, not nomination.
No.
We're going to put him in.
Put him in
For
next
special
week.
occasions, because we have this little rule where if it's something sympathetic, like if it's a bit like, oh no, this nice person passed away or something, like, we're not going to suck up to the lovely people at Cultaholic.
Hang on, didn't someone try and put world peace and in here once?
Ross got a bit testy when he hadn't won for several weeks, so he was putting in anything. We're relax the rules somewhat, like an AEW tag match. We were not paying attention that much, but so the picks this week. Tom Campbell with Stone Cold ET in brackets.
yeah.
No, he's not come back or been remade. It's just that one from
Just the
2010.
original.
Yeah. Andrew with your dad's cooking skills.
Yeah, we could call it that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Can't cook, tried cooking.
Yeah.
And I am picking Ross finding out about Star Wars. Those are your picks and your 3 picks alone by going to patreon.com/Cultaholic.
This is This Week in the Wrestling. It's this bloody week in the wrestling.
This week in wrestling. SmackDown, subtitled Riddle Gets Diddled, in the Cultaholic Wrestling Podcast sense of the word.
Oh, thank goodness.
Thank you for clarifying. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens go on a stroll towards the ring. Once the pair have reached the ring, Sami shows how deep and complex he is by saying he still hasn't been able to process the title win at WrestleMania because of the bloodline and the upcoming draft. Kevin Owens proves he is both shallow and silly. Yeah, that's what I nearly said. By displaying he doesn't understand how the draft works. KO claims he and Sami will defend the tag team titles even if they're on different brands. Saying it isn't so, Kevin. Do the O2 Dudley boys mean nothing to you? The bloodline appears and Sami mocks them for always having to answer to their daddy, Roman Reigns. The Usos mock Sami, potentially turning on KO. Not in the way a daddy would turn you on, by the way, but the fighting way. Riddle appears and hey diddle ding dong diddle. The bloodline are down and the scene has ended. It was at this moment realised that Ross was too ill to make it.
There's some bangers. Let me tell you in these notes, there is some bangers.
This is how wrestling is seen through his head. No wonder he's so jolly.
What's really nice is that we do the classic SmackDown review on a Saturday. No episode tomorrow, by the way, back next week. But Maffew will write the notes for the SmackDown review weeks ahead. So when you come to read them, they're like someone else has written them.
And sometimes I'll go one of two ways. I'll go, oh, that's good, that.
Yeah.
Or I'll be like, it's rubbish. Who wrote that? Ooh. But we know who wrote this.
Whereas this
Ross
week,
did.
Ross wrote them for you.
He did. That's why it's beautiful. So yes, that did happen.
It did.
Pierce makes the match between Riddle and Solo at the end of the show, which makes sense because Solo's the one who took Riddle out.
Yep.
There was much rejoicing. And this was your opening segment of SmackDown. Any thoughts?
The bloodline isn't fine.
Yeah, there was a lot of talking about that, wasn't there? The whole, just like Jay being like, oh, you're the ones that are going to turn on each other. You're the ones, Sammy's going to turn on you. And then Sammy's like, nah, it's not going to happen though.
No, just because it happened 17 times before.
It can't possibly happen again.
That's right.
What happens though? What happens? Because, they say on everybody's eligible for the draft. What happens if one of the tag team champions does get drafted to a different?
To go back to what Maffew referenced there, the O2 Dudley boys, the tag champs get drafted together.
Right.
And the Dudleys challenged Billy and Chuck for the tag titles on the SmackDown before they were due to split as like a last-ditch attempt to stay together. And they came up short, so they had to be split up.
They lost to Billy and Chuck, so they looked at each other and go, yeah, we deserve the split up.
Yeah. So it is weird how they're like, oh, whatever happens. But like, if they're tag champs, they will stay together.
Yeah.
I think they'll be assigned a brand, but as champs, they will work between the two.
They'll be drafted to the Thunder Rosa CM Punk Mrs. Doubtfire division.
One of you's going on the Naughty Step brand. The others. But I like the idea that they get drafted to other brands, but they go, look, as long as you're champs, you hang out together, which adds that extra bit of jeopardy.
Yeah.
So like, as soon as you lose the belts, they get split up.
Yeah.
We can't have them get split up. So I like that as an idea.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson has cheated out the winner's purse by referee Jessica Carr. The blind referee spots Dwayne The Rock Johnson using Xavier Woods' tights to gain an advantage. He started Dwayne The Rock Johnson at this, so it took me a few seconds. Oh, LA Knight. Right, thank you, mate. Why is he the full name now?
Is he doing my GM mode or something? Like The Rock's a mid-card wrestler.
But fails to see Woods doing the same to score the victory. How is that fair? I'll tell you, it's not. I partly agree. But then immediately after that, Imperium having a little old talk, as they tend to do. Xavier Woods sticks his trombone all up in Gunther's business, like the Lurpak spreadable man. We set up an IC title match between the pair here, and because one is super serial and he calls the other one a goof, it writes itself. This is Xavier Woods' first shot at the IC title.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Probably because he's too busy getting his trombone out and being gay.
I'm buzzing for this match, me.
Yeah?
I really like Xavier Woods a lot. I think he's quite underrated. Personally, what do you think? I don't know. I'm interested to see what you think.
Oh, wait, the hot gamer guy. Oh, I think he's overrated. Me,
Oh.
Xavier Woods.
Oh my god.
We'll beat him like we beat Triple Jump. Yes, I'm very happy for him.
Yeah, me too.
And he's wrestling Gunther.
Your favourite boy?
The Ring General.
The Ring General.
Keep your trousers on during that one, please, Maffew.
After beating LA Knight, it's a good week for Maffew's favourites.
What a week. 5 years ago this week, by the way, LA Knight was a tag champion with Scott Steiner.
Wow.
You're welcome.
On Impact?
Yeah, of course. Where else? Where else would let such shenanigans happen?
No memory of that. Wait, no, there was a bit where they drove on a little golf cart backstage and yelled at Josh Matthews. Was that? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Fun times.
Yeah.
Do with that information what you will.
Yeah, thank you very much for that. But yeah, I was a bit surprised that LA Knight would lose, but it's just a minor setback.
It's a minor setback until he wins the Money in the Bank.
That's right. It's not Cody Rhodes.
No,
Calm down.
come on now.
Damian Priest starts talking the words, but doesn't manage to get anything we haven't heard already out of his mouth before the LWO cut him off in clear house. Oh, that's nice of them. Priest then takes on Santos Escobar and beats him with the South of Heaven, a.k.a. that Slayer song. Rey Mysterio comes down and beats up his son a little bit, further proving he's a terrible father. Was WrestleMania not enough, man? Zelina Vega looks to be the first challenger for Rhea Ripley's SmackDown Women's title, as for the second week in a row, the former queen nails the Eradicator with a shoot Hurricane Rana, this time the barricade. I forgot about us doing the shoot Hurricane Rana at the beginning of the podcast. Not a Hurricane Rana, a shoot Hurricane Rana. No, I thought Priest and Escobar had lovely chemistry together.
Me too.
I'm excited for when Santos breaks away from the LWO. I think he's going to be a megastar.
Oh,
I really do. Not for a while yet. I think
yeah.
He's happy playing basically the. They've come in, and we'll see this more on Raw. They kind of came in with a lot of momentum at the moment. The way they're sort of booked, they're sort of akin to the Putty Patrol from the Power Rangers. Like they seem just to turn up en masse and then just take a shoe in.
Yeah.
Yep.
That will change, all being well.
I also enjoyed. I think it was in this match on SmackDown where Michael Cole just went bananas when I can't remember. I think it was someone from the LWO was taking out Damian Priest, and Michael Cole was going off his rocker. Get him, just like over and over again. It was so good.
He's like that whenever Dom gets attacked.
That was, I think that's probably what it was. I think that's what it was, yeah.
Get him. I hate my kids too. I live vicariously through you.
No, I love Relaxo Cole. He's not laughing at Dom getting attacked. He's laughing at Top Dollar existing. Solo Sikoa is not a mute, it says here. He tells Paul Heyman to tell Roman Reigns that he's got this ahead of his match with Riddle. Paul has been shouting things for a while before Solo felt the need to speak. If any aspiring wrestlers are watching the podcast, this is the way you get under the skin of the bloodline, which may, in turn, possibly lead you to victory, it says here. Hashtag shout at Solo.
But it was cool because he was talking about how Riddle disgraced the bloodline, he disgraced the Usos, Alpha, Seeker, the memory of Yokozuna, Umaga's turning over in his grave. I think Paul Heyman started saying something in Samoan. Yeah. And that's when Solo went, whoa. Tell him it's fine. It's great.
I like this. I'm like...
Yeah, Solo goes, your Samoan's really good.
I don't know why they mentioned Yokozuna, though, because Yokozuna was Japanese.
Yeah, that's a bit weird.
Weird that they mentioned that.
A bit odd.
I know. I was so good the first time Matt Stryker said, all the Samoan Dynasty guys. It's like, first time, like, I don't know why it would be bringing up, but like, yeah, Yokozuna. I was like, no, he's Japanese, damn it.
Yeah, your Ross Tweddle moment. Like,
Shut the door.
Shut the front door.
Shut the front door.
Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez are here. It appears that they want to star in The Good Life on the BBC circa 1975 and 78. Everything is so bloody nice. Nice. So we've got The Good Life and The Young Ones there. Okay, Ross clearly felt the impact of the Star Wars thing, has gone and done his research. Bloody hell. The Karens are here being very Karenish and blame Management Bald, a.k.a. Pierce, not to be confused with FTR Bald, for their shortcomings in the women's tag team division. The two sets of teams fight and the Karens are down in the mud. Yeah, bloody Karens.
Bloody Karens.
I enjoyed reading Ross's report more than listening and watching Liv and Raquel come out like they've been affected with the Joker venom.
Yeah.
The most unconvincing smiles I've seen this side of a Tony Blair politician campaign.
It was a very fake bit.
And they had horrible lines.
Yeah.
Not those ones. The ones that they were given to read.
If they had done those ones, it would have been a very different sketch. Believe me, I know.
I'm still not sick of letting you throw me around. Oh, that's good, girl. Silence.
Yeah.
Thankfully, the Karens came out and no one likes them, so they got booed.
I would have preferred if they would have done a Good Life skit where they were in the garden, just planted little crops in that. Some cauliflower here and some carrots there.
Raquel put a fence up because she's tall.
Yeah. That'll keep them out.
But then Chelsea Green turned up like a badger, tunnels underground.
She's the neighbours that always like pop right, aren't they?
Oh,
like the
gosh,
neighbours.
yeah, what's her name?
Margot.
That's right, aye. She's there going, they're at it again.
Yeah.
Raquel's putting up the bird feed and Liv's eating from it. Oh, those neighbours.
Hey, have you seen that? Raquel's just turned on Liv Morgan. No, everyone turns on Liv Morgan. Not news that. Reading the paper, pipe on the go. So niche this week.
It is, isn't it?
Go watch The Good Life, you uncultured hicks.
This is how we stay in the cultural zeitgeist of the good life.
We are not in the cultural zeitgeist.
We mentioned TikTok an hour ago. Now on to the good life. Nakamura.
You don't hear Grapsody talking about the good life. I'm just saying.
There's someone else we could shove in this week. Nakamura 2.0's push begins as he defeats Madcap Moss. Whoa! While Emma is both confused and not very happy with the proceedings. She motivated Moss by saying, "You won an Andre Battle Royal," which, when he was about to face a man who's won a proper Rumble match. That don't impress me much, it says here. Silly woman, Ross writes.
Wow. That's very true.
Whoa, silly woman.
Nakamura went, silly old moo. The late 60s there. See how far we can go. Nakamura 2.0's push ends as Karrion Kross and Scarlett, oh no, are shown to have bought a card with his picture on it from the shops.
Was it a Topps trading card?
We all look forward to a few weeks of scintillating TV involving the three people mentioned in this paragraph. Ross, don't take this the wrong way. I think I may have broke my phone. Don't take this the wrong way, Ross, but I hope you ill every week. Bloody hell. Thank you.
It was a segment. It certainly was a segment. Madcap, very aggressive on the off in this as well. I think at one point he almost dumped Nakamura on his head too. Yeah.
Well, if anyone knows about that, it's Moss. Bless him.
It is, bless him.
I was genuinely worried for a bit. They might have Moss beat Nakamura. I had a feeling in my waters they
Oh,
might.
wow.
But no, common sense prevailed.
Yes.
It's fine. I had a horrible feeling.
God, that would be funny.
It would have been hilarious, but, you know. And then Cross goes, "Hey, your punishment is to face me." The weird, the most interesting, uninteresting character on the show.
I actually forgot he was part of the show. I'm not gonna lie.
Moss.
forgot.
Yeah. No, Cross as well. I like completely
Moss
just
and
like
Cross.
Moss and Cross. There you go, sorted. You're back, lads. Moss and
It's just
Cross.
an angry plant.
Here's Moss in the field there. Oh no, Margot, get out there.
Hey, I've not seen a plant this mad since Led Zeppelin split up.
Hey!
Solo Sikoa defeats Matt Riddle in your main event of the evening. Riddle looked to have the thing won, but went for a shoot tope. A shoot tope on the people who weren't even involved in the match. Allowing Solo to recover and spike for the win. After match, Riddle is diddled on the announce table by Solo before the Swan Bulldozer bulldozes the table on top of Riddle. Owens and Sammy turn the thing back over so Riddle isn't shoot squashed. With all the shooting.
What a phenomenal push we're seeing this week for Solo Sikoa.
Yeah.
In general, we are. To the point where I'm thinking maybe Solo Sikoa should be the guy that takes out Roman.
I was gonna
Not
say.
takes his titles.
Yeah.
Not beats him for the titles, but takes him out.
Yeah.
Maybe after he loses the belts, it's Solo that just clatters him and goes, I'm the captain
Yeah,
now.
I feel like I agree with you in that sense as well. Like this whole push makes me believe that Solo could do something devastating to Roman Reigns somehow. Maybe he becomes the head of the table down the line. He's got the ruthless aggression to do so. Doesn't he?
he
It's very
really
good.
I can see him after he loses the belt, it being like an old school Transformers when Grimlock would want to be the leader, not Prime.
Oh, I thought
me Grimlock smart, Prime dumb.
I thought you were going to say when Megatron gets thrown out of the side of the spaceship.
That's such a great.
Goodbye, Megatron.
Well, we need to get rid of some dead weight.
But then he gets
Ooh, Megatron's dead. He's like, I'm not. I'm still like, well, it's nice.
la 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 la. You're dead.
Nice to see you.
And he gets sucked into Unicron and comes back and goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, I did that thing." Transformers the movie.
More interesting than AEW Rampage, which it says here, stop, drop, kaboom, baby, you snip them nips, you. What? What is that? What's that? What?
You'll see.
What?
You saw Rampage, didn't you?
Yeah, but are they the lyrics?
No.
What? He's
The Rampage
Anakin Skywalker.
You referencing what happened on
Nothing happened on Rampage.
Oh, no,
it
it
did.
did.
I sent a
It
message.
certainly did.
It
Bollocks.
certainly did.
Don't gaslight me. I sent a message to the Cultaholic Wrestling Podcast, obviously, because nobody was here, saying, can we just do like a notes section for this because of the little amount happening. But apparently, I'm people in disagreement.
Yep.
Let's see who was right. Aussie Open defend the IWGP Tag Team titles against the Best Friends rather easily, considering the Aussie lads couldn't buy a win last year. They turned out in an AEW ring. This shows growth and progression. Live, laugh, pile drivers. It was obviously Aussie Open have just won the IWGP Tag Team titles. They were winning. It was funny to see them just batter Best Friends and everyone go, Best Friends haven't got a chance here. After Best Friends challenged the Trios titles last week. It was only a week ago. It was like, you got no chance.
They keep falling upwards, don't they, Best Friends?
They do. And Mark Davis's Kiss Your Eyes and Counter F. Oh, wait, what's it called?
Kiss Your Eyes and Counter F.
I actually got the name right.
Yeah, we called it.
Ages since
We called it during a North match.
I know, but that's probably the last time I played
Yeah.
called it. It still looks lovely. Aussie Open, wonderful bastards. Nice.
Very, very good.
I'm so happy to see Aussie Open on telly. It's great.
Yeah, me too.
They were great. It was like a nice exhibition for them.
Yeah.
They look great.
Yeah. Mark Briscoe's handed a wonderful T-shirt by his friend of 20 years, Jay Lethal, and his friends who should be doing 20 years behind bars for being bad men. JJ, Sanjay, and Satnam.
It's such a great T-shirt because like everybody's face, like Satnam, Jay, Sanjay, Jarrett, their faces are all on the top. And then, like, you've got Mark Briscoe's face in the bottom, left corner. Like, you're one of us now, look. He's like, couldn't be further away.
And also, it's that style where it's just the outline filled in, so it did look like an angry Mother Teresa.
Because it's like missing the mustache bit that he's got, so it's just like this giant bushy beard on the bottom.
Big bushy beard.
Big bushy beard.
However, Ross echoes my exact thoughts. So here's somebody who's in a stable that he doesn't really want to be in.
Yeah.
And looks like he's trying to get out. It's not getting along. It appears to be the exact same thing Matt Hardy just did with the firm.
It's finished now, so now I can do a new
We can do it
That's
again.
it. Oh, good. We can use that gimmick. No one else is
Jim
doing
Cornette says it's the 7-second rule. After 7 seconds, after 7 seconds, you can either redo a feud or eat it off the ground. Maybe both. Maybe both if you're Jim.
Yeah, Mark
maybe
Briscoe
both.
should have eaten them.
Yeah.
Probably not. Oh, those teeth. That's why they had to do it. Making sense, Tom. FTR come down to the ring for a welcome chat because the bald one isn't clogging up people's timelines with wanky CM Punk bollocks. So the proper... Oh, my God, Ross. The bald... Oh, it gets worse. The bald one is actually being one hell of a babyface here. And this sick guy... in brackets, Maffew, double thumb yourself, you deserve it, is really glad he's rid of his podcast. What?
How brave is Maffew to read the words of Ross? Because you know what happens? This stuff gets clipped. All Dax is going to hear is you saying that.
It's been sad to see the sentiment turn against them, but it's been deserved, quite frankly. FDR hair must be a happy boy now. The lads speak about how it took 2 years and 5 months to get the tag team titles back and how they've signed on for another 4 years with All Elite. They turn it to Chumbawamba, so, getting knocked down but then getting up again.
Lovely tribute to Jay Briscoe.
Yeah.
On the tag
On the
titles where it
titles.
says Jay
Yes.
Briscoe.
That was
lovely,
very nice.
that.
Yeah, onwards and upwards. Obviously, the back proper now, no longer injured. They've made it clear, we're back for 4 years.
Off
I
they
like to
go.
think that they went, we're never coming back to AEW. What can they offer us? We're running Wembley Stadium. Where Bret Hart took and Bulldog. Hey, you know what? I've always loved AEW.
4 more years. 4 more years.
So, yeah. I think they said as well, was it over here or somewhere else, that after those 4 years, then they're done, retired?
Yeah, it was in this bit, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well.
Yeah,
I don't
sure
think
you
so,
are.
yes.
Retirements there. Ooh, built to last. The Hardys, Isaiah Cassidy and Hook are glad to have Jeff Hardy back after a rough 9 months. And nobody was even pregnant. Well, can't always win. They are looking forward to their match with the firm so they can win. And Matt and Isaiah can get out of their deals with said firm. What? Even though Hook beating Ethan Page did that already, didn't it? I'm confused. Double thumbs if you want here, Maffew. Yes, we're confused. We learned the match is going to take place at the Hardy compound, I think. I got lost in Jeff Hardy's lovely new eyes. Well, singular.
yeah.
The firm deletion, they're calling it.
No.
Oh, that's good.
I'm not.
That's good.
Deletion.
I'm not raving of the idea of them doing this again. Because
No.
first time they had their run in Impact, it was great. Then they did it in WWE, and it was a bit poo. And it's like, that's right, we're doing it again. It's like,
I think
okay.
the firm have the characters that could pull off some fun comedy silliness.
Okay.
Is this a way so that Jeff can do something without actually having to do something?
Yeah, I
if
think
they
so.
do this, if they do this kind of match,
That would make sense.
I think,
wouldn't it?
I think so. Yay!
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm glad you are. Wardlow is mad. Hobbs is mad. They speak about slapping their meat off one another this week, in their TNT title match. More of that to come. Mad. Mark and Jeff and Satnam and Jay win a squash match. Man Scout Jake Manning, one of their opponents, has a really worrying gimmick. Is he really a fully grown man pretending to be in the Scouts? I'm sensing.
Jim Ross gave the gimmick the
sorry.
contempt it deserved, which was funny.
Yeah, he
He's
did.
a scout. Oh, I'm sorry, you commentated on a dead man for 20 years.
Yeah, don't be silly, JR.
And his fake dad, Paul Bearer. But yeah, sure, Man Scout is a step too far. Jim, that is your real name.
God, Man Scout Jake Manning. That gimmick's been around as long as Stone Cold DT.
I thought it was brand new.
When's he going to show up in a squash match? In the corner of my right already.
He got his squash match badge for that though, so it's good.
Oh. Dib. Job.
Hey! Good night, everybody.
Taya Valkyrie defeats Emi Sakura in a match that happened on last week's Rampage.
They did it again.
I see. After match, Jade Cargill is here to lay off the SmackDown on some heifer and does so, planting Taya with a jaded after a bit of back and forth that also involves Layla Gray. This was a surprisingly long match, but I guess you had to have something filled Rampage. But
Nice to see Amy Sakura on TV. I don't get a chance to say this on the podcast. The last women's champion of Middlesbrough, lest we forget.
Oh.
Amy Sakura was the last ever 3CW women's champion.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. Amy Sakura is the last women's champion of Middlesbrough. From the people who brought you the last King of Scotland, the last women's champion of Middlesbrough. I was there the night she won it. It was a lovely time. Off,
Go on, you got this. People are frantically on their phones on cagematch.net, typing in 3CW, going, go on, Tom. Don't drop the ball. Do it for Middlesbrough. Smoggy. Oi.
Gravy.
I feel really
Palmo.
I love gravy.
I actually can't remember who. I'm gonna have to.
This is so important.
Carry on.
Is Taya the one to do it? Is she gonna take the belt?
No.
You don't
They're
think
waiting
no?
for Cody.
They're waiting for Cody.
Cody. Adrenaline.
Jose, the assistant, manages to keep his shirt on while challenging El Hijo del Vikingo for a AAA mega title shot on behalf of Drilistico. AEW have their own belts that can't get on TV because of things like QTV, you know. Savage thoughts from Ross.
Damn.
How dare he? Double thumb. I agree. That's one thumb, Maffew. The JAS pour acid directly into the eyes and ears of everyone watching as they do some rap. Oh, God. Okay, yes, thank you for that. Honestly, watching Jake Hager try to wrap Christmas presents for his kids would have been better than this. But I guess that was the point. I bet Jake Hager is useless at wrapping presents. His hands will be too big. Anyway, the Acclaimed arrive and do their thing, and eventually it looks like they're going to perform a vasectomy. The Daddy Magic's presumably flaccid nipples. But the JAS boys get away before any nipples were snipped.
It was a
This
segment.
actually happened, yes.
It did, yeah, it did. Sad that we didn't get some snipping
It was
of the
sad,
nipples.
was it?
It was very sad. But I don't know. I quite enjoyed the raps by JAS because they were suitably bad,
Kanji!
weren't they? He's got it.
Sorry, Andrew, carry on.
Kanji got it.
Oh, there wasn't
Yes,
too
you
much
can.
more. That was good. Yeah, no, I thought it was all right. It was a fine segment. It was okay.
Hiragana. But yeah.
I think the top marks go to Jake Hager for his rap.
Right.
I rap about this. I rap about that. One more thing. I like this hat.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty good. It's a good get. It's
Love this
amazing,
hat.
isn't it? Wrestling could be sometimes. Hi, it's that guy who can't talk very well who says he has a hat, and people go, "Yay!"
Yeah.
Well, fair enough, mate.
He loves his
Now,
hat.
I'm liking this little mini feud of JS just not getting it that they claim don't want anything to do with them until they did this, and it's like, oh, we're not friends. Is that what you're saying? Oh, fair enough. Babyface and now not friend of MJF, and oh my God, I've run out of ideas for gimmicks, so 10-10-10, baby. Sean Spears loses to Jungle Boy in your alleged main event.
Is it too late for Short Spears?
Yes.
Big question.
That's right. That's what everyone's talking about right now.
Good night. Thanks for listening.
cheers.
Join us.
No, it was what it was. And it's like some sort of tenuous link. Well, Sean Spears was friends with MJF for ages, so Jungle Boy's going to take him on. It's like, people was like, where's he been?
Yeah,
He's still here?
Where's he been?
I think
He's been out eating out the bins again.
eating out the bins again.
Yeah.
I don't know if didn't they say on commentary that he's just like become a dad or something as well. I don't know if that's maybe eating up his time a little bit.
Like a bit of
as I guess
bit
a
of
child
paternity
would.
leave.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not too sure, but yeah.
Good for him.
Good for
For him.
I think. I don't know. WWE Raw. Just a reminder that Jack needs to do the laptop thing, I guess.
So can I ask, where did this stem from? What is this?
He did a bet.
How long ago was this bet? Was it a while ago at this point?
I think we talked about it before because I thought it's over a year, right? And someone said it's come up to 2 years, I think.
Wow.
Don't quote me because I can't remember. I don't think I was involved in it because I don't remember the actual inception of it.
Okay.
But I remember them ragging on him afterwards because, as I pointed out to people, Sam took forever to eat his was it his hat?
His hat,
his
yeah.
hat.
But he got there eventually.
Did it on Christmas Day?
Yeah. Jack still hasn't done that, but I was a man of my word when I said, there's no way Steve Austin's having a match with Kevin Owens. It's not as if it's going to be competitive. Had one of the most exciting matches.
Yeah.
A rare misstep for you, sir.
You're very flattering.
No, it's just, I just thought like it's really obvious that he's going to have a fight. Like
I was trying to do like the Eric Bischoff thing where I was like, just commit to the bit. Commit to the bit.
with
That's
you.
right. They should book CM Punk versus Goldberg, Tony Khan. If you don't, you're a stupid poo-poo head.
no, he listens.
Eric Bischoff.
No, Tony Khan.
All right.
Eric does, obviously.
Eric, you suck. The Bloodline are here and are almost immediately cut off by the Judgment Day. What are you doing? He types it now as one word in capital letters. What are you? QWEAV. A large stare down between the two factions happens, and Rhea Ripley appears to be thirsty for war solo for him. Paul Heyman announces that Roman Reigns has done a deal with the JD, which is news to everyone who isn't Paul or Solo in the PL. Finn Balor isn't happy with the whole thing. Rhea is happy with it for now. The JD have been told to take out Sami, Kevin Riddle in their main event match this evening. Will they do it? Ross has written, no. N-U-R.
I loved this. Paul Heyman has played a blinder the last couple of days. On SmackDown on Friday, I was remiss in mentioning this, but there's a bit where the Usos are staring down Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, and Paul Heyman says, you two will have the belts because Roman Reigns is sick of both of you. And the Usos thought they were talking about Kevin and Sami, but Paul looked at the Usos as he said it, and that was great. And then Damian Priest, the only one in a suit, and I thought, that's odd, he's only wearing a suit. Everyone else is there. Because he'd brokered the deal with Paul Heyman that only he knew about. And the Usos are like, we didn't know about this. It's like, now we're going over your head now. And the look that Finn gives
So good.
as the handshake goes down. Like, oh, I
really
like
cool.
it.
I like it as well.
I liked it. Damian Priest would actually be a very good Paul Heyman guy. I decided in that moment. Damian Priest in a suit next to Paul Heyman.
I didn't think about that. Yeah.
He's a good Paul Heyman guy.
I like to make it a variety because not only does it give mixing up of the things before the draft, so going to some show by themselves and actually sticking to it because everyone's just appearing on whatever show right now. And also, adds to we're bringing in Judgment Day because of you two.
Yeah.
And he also just
infuriating the management making decisions, then going, oh yeah, this is the thing that we're doing.
yeah,
Thanks.
very nice. Enemy of Baby is my friend, and like the Rhea Ripley stare down. The only negative bit, Finn Balor's wank T-shirt.
Oh, Finn 16 staples on it.
Yeah, trying to be a 316 knockoff because everything in this company needs to be a reference from something that happened 30 years ago. Hello, Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh, was it Finn 14? It was
But
something
Finn
like
14
that.
equals Staples.
Yeah.
But one thing, we didn't even see him bleeding or no one really saw the moment because the camera went, hey, look at the birds.
Look at the bird.
Oh, that cloud looks
real
like a
birds got out
face.
again.
Ooh. So like, wow, remember he got cut open? No, we didn't see it.
Look at this lovely thing off camera you can hear. Gary, it's bleeding. What do I do? It won't stop.
Yeah, so it's just funny, like he's making a thing of the moment. There wasn't a moment, but yeah, it looks crap.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they referenced the moment on last week's Raw, so I guess it's canon that he got his head split
Yeah,
open.
I think didn't he wrestle and he had because he's got an injury with his leg as well, right? So I think they pretty much hammering home like, oh, he's wrestling injured and his legs hurting and his head's stapled together.
Look, we said this last week and it was a joke. Like, oh, it's amazing. It was Finn Balor versus Rey Mysterio. It's like, it's amazing, even at this age, all the things that's happened to him. He can still have a great match like that. Also, Rey Mysterio Jr. was great. But it's true. Yeah. Like, that's the thing. It
the
shouldn't
Black
be.
Knight always triumphs.
And then Rey Mysterio comes out, attacks Solo from the rear, and the pair have a match. The Usos get involved, as do the LWO, the hottest thing for maybe 6 weeks in WCW in late 98. But eventually, a Samoan Spike gets Solo a large win. After the match, Solo and the Usos take out everyone who isn't a part of the Bloodline. Good bit hit. Like I said, Solo, flying solo.
Really good push. Really good push this week.
He's going to be the guy that takes out Roman Reigns.
I think
it's happening.
I would genuinely love to see that happen. As Maffew was saying, once the belts are off Roman Reigns, then to still have the storyline of the Bloodline and maybe Solo coming in to take over or be the one to just completely go, nah, it's done now. We're finished. And,
yeah. Like DX98, like the day after Shawn lost to Austin, Triple H went, well, he dropped the ball, dropped all the balls.
Which you can see Paul Heyman saying as well, and then him and Solo aligned together.
Well, I can see Paul Heyman being scared of Solo. So if Solo attacks Roman and leaves him down, Paul's going to be like, Tribal Chief. Because that's in keeping with Paul's character.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Absolutely.
All right, we're here for it. Maxine Dupree and Chad Gable are fighting over Otis. Who could blame them? He's fit as F.
He is great.
He is.
And circles are big in Paris, and he's a massive one of those. Yep.
I love him.
This is what happens.
He's so bloody good, is Otis.
Like, he's so versatile.
So versatile. Like bird's eye potato waffle.
It's a circle, you know?
Like your dad cooking, he's very versatile.
Yeah.
Otis just set the bloody wheels on fire.
Bianca Belair defeats Dakota Kai with relative ease, unlike your dad. Megan Sue. I'll stop doing that.
Yeah, when did your dad beat Bianca Belair?
Yeah. It was a shame this crowd didn't seem to give a flying F about this match, but I was really
It was
into
a bit of a foregone conclusion. I didn't think that
true.
Dakota Kai was beating Bianca Belair at any point. But I thought that they had a great match.
Yeah, me too. It was longer than I thought it was going to be as well. Yeah, a nice little showing for Dakota, I thought. But yeah, as you said, it was a foregone conclusion, really. Isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what's the name of the finish. Oh, Bianca Belair with the foregone conclusion. Oh, 1, 2, 3. All right, Ross has put, forget about Austin 316. Forget about hard times. Forget about Come Tuesday. Finn Balor cuts the best promo in pro wrestling history. When Heyman asks him if he's satisfied, meh, he says. Meh. Inspired work. This scene ends with Rhea scaring off Heyman, who was in the process of calling Roman Reigns, presumably to tell on the JD for being nasty pasties.
That was quite funny.
It was given with some vigor, though, the meh. It was giving me, like, almost Jake Hager vibes.
Nah, see, they were, that's the difference. They were trying too hard to make meh a thing during his promo. Jake Hager wasn't trying.
That's a very good point.
That's why, like, The Room is amazing, but, like, Sharknado 8 is like,
You're too aware now.
Yeah.
That's like, you're making rubbish. That's not, Management Bold, brackets Pierce, asks Cody Rhodes roughly 174 times if he's sure he wants to face Brock Lesnar at Backlash / call him out on tonight's Raw. Cody teases leaving, but then grabs a chair and sets up base camp in the ring. Security team, The Undertaker, oh wait, it's Brock. But he's wearing a massive coat like The Undertaker, or maybe 97 Sting would have done. Cody's going radio rental now, so much so that Pierce makes the match for Backlash in order to calm Rhodes down. Cody then smashes the security team in the safest looking way possible before labeling Brock a coward. Because Cody grew up with cowboys, and Brock thinks he's a cowboy, but he's not a cowboy. He's a coward.
Yeah.
I like we're doing the really basic like storytelling thing that people are doing for decades now. It's like, oh, he's a bad cowboy. I know he's a bad cowboy. He's wearing black.
Yeah.
It's
simple as that's all it takes.
Simple storytelling. Yep. I'm looking forward to Cody and Brock. And I think as soon as the 3 count went down at Mania, within about a minute and a half, I kind of gone, all right, there's more story to tell here. Which, much to the chagrin of everybody watching on the live stream, who are like, stop being an apologist and just be mad like all of us are.
Yeah,
But
sorry about that, Tom.
it's all right, mate.
I was rather mad.
But there's obviously, if we get to Mania 40 and Cody loses again, then absolutely screw you to high hell. No, you clearly can't finish the story. But I like the fact that now he's kind of going through the bosses. Like of Nakatomi Plaza. He's fighting back to the top again, isn't he?
He's grinding like an FF7.
Yeah, that's it. He's grinding. He's going back in. He's getting more XP, so he fights Brock again.
Brock's gonna turn into a sexy long-haired
Except for Brock.
Sepha Brock.
Wait, what's that?
Oh my god.
It's a song, B-R-O-C-K.
Cody's not here this week. He's on this chocobo farm breeding a gold chocobo, so he could go to the island to get Knights of the Round.
Cody, I took time out from breeding chocobos to tell you.
I want this match at Backlash to be like a no DQ, no holds barred type shenanigan. I think that would suit it very nicely.
Save it for 9 pitches.
Oh,
And do what you do so beautifully well, Andrew Hodgkinson, and get right into the weeds.
I didn't.
Get right into the weeds.
Say anything there. Nobody stole that.
Seth and The Miz steal the show. I'm sure the kids will be telling the pair that they didn't have to go so hard. No cap. Thanks, Ross.
Great
no,
match.
but he is right, though. Seth and Miz have always had great chemistry together.
Yeah.
You remember, was it Backlash 2018 or 2019 where they opened the show
Oh yeah, for the IC
and no
title.
one could follow it? And it didn't help because every match had a very similar structure afterwards. It was the one with Joe versus Reigns. And it was the match that crowd started chanting, beat the traffic, and left. And it was because of Seth and Miz.
Because
So,
they'd set the stall out incredibly well for the rest of the night,
Yeah.
but the goods weren't as good. They've always been beautiful together, and they were
Yeah.
here as well.
They were so good. I love seeing this side of Miz as well because I feel like it's not a side we see very often in terms of him being more aggressive. And when he like actually gets into it, he shows that he's such a good wrestler. There was a bit I think where Seth goes for a super kick and Miz catches him and swings his leg around. So then Seth's leg falls on the rope and then he like dives onto his leg and immediately puts him in a figure 4 leg lock like so quickly and so perfectly. He's mint. He's so good, and I think we forget that sometimes as well.
I mean, proof that wins and losses don't massively count in wrestling. The Miz hasn't won a match on TV since November last year, but he's consistently on TV.
Wow.
Doesn't matter. Like, the wins and losses don't really make a difference. He's just always the guy to go to.
He was focusing on his singing.
That's it.
He was, yeah.
And how to take a punch from Snoop Dogg. Just in case. This
What do we do, Snoop Dogg? I got this.
That's so exciting.
I punched my hand so hard you felt it. God, I'm sorry.
Daring General Snoop Hunt.
Snoop Dogg.
I enjoyed Seth Rollins putting the cat amongst the proverbial pigeons this week in the same week that Becky Lynch changed her Twitter handle to Rebecca Quinn and changed her photo to a headshot. Seth Rollins on his official website for his wrestling school started selling Tyler Effin Black t-shirts.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Wow.
I see ya.
And Miz just went, I'm really happy being in WWE until I die.
Miz
To be
made a
honest with
t-shirt
you.
saying, genuinely, I'll just stay here forever and lose every night. It's fine.
Give me whatever. I'm
Yeah.
happy. Yeah. Toe bro is a thing now, apparently. Bazinga. Not really. Riddle says he was kidding when describing his new move and his answer to the Samoan Spike and wants to take out the bloodline because of the things they have done to him.
Yeah.
Owen seems happy. Sammy seems happy. Everyone is singing from the same hymn sheet. The Lord is my shepherd. So that's the Vicar of Dibley. Yeah, whatever. This reminded me of the horrible Riddle skits they had him doing for years, which I hated because we've all got that one guy that smokes weed and is really annoying but thinks he's cool.
Well, I thought Solo Sikoa punched it out of him because he was doing all those like, hey, I've got a great business idea, and then Solo Sikoa battered him so hard he ended up in a rehab facility apologizing, and now he's come back and he's like, oh, I just want to fight everyone now, but I'm still cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But at least it works with Sammy and Kev going, what? What do you say? Oh, you can. All right. Fine.
So we're high as a kite too.
Yeah. Bobby Lashley, in theory, go to a DQ because warm up them pipes, Maffew. It says, my Lord is my share. Oh, it's actually a full hymn. I shall want meat. He maketh me slappeth my mate his my mate. My meat his. Look, I can either sing or read. I can't do both. All of
Go
the
West
meat.
Brom. Go West Brom.
All of the meat shall be slapped. Bronson Reed, what are you? I've been happy to see Bronson Reed. Sorry, Ross, for butchering that. Yes, they're going to slap their meat once more, and this podcast should be considered titillated. Reed beats down Lashley for a bit, but then Theory has to save Reed from the hurt lock. Reed then manages to get a Samoan drop and the tsunami in for the big metaphorical dub.
Yeah.
I like Bobby's new entrance on the podium, where he looks like a
Yeah.
trophy come to life.
I like that until...
Like Indian in the cup. It's like,
Wait until
Oh
they
my
actually
God.
turn him into the Andre the Giant Battle Royale statue. Imagine they just turn him into that.
yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe like he'll spend the next 12 months turning into the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal statue
Yeah.
to the point where on the night he can't make it to the thing because he's stuck as a statue.
Solid gold.
And you see a single tear roll down his eye, knowing this is his future.
No, like MVP will then have to win the Battle Royal next year so they can win him back to get rid of the curse. I'm trying. The mass of these wrestlers.
I've won him back. I've won you back. Hits him, he falls and shatters. No! And that's how Bobby
And in the
gets
background, cinnamon toast crunch. The Lord is my shepherd. Cinnamon is my breakfast. MVP's crying.
Bobby's dead. Cinnamon toast.
Cinnamon toast.
Cinnamon toast.
This funeral sponsored by Cinnamon.
That little raw robot pointing at the coffin.
Oh my, he should have had insurance.
Did he do his taxes before he died?
Oh no, be paying money in hell. So yeah, it
The big
was.
cricket thing turns up at the funeral. Did he change his cell phone provider before he died?
Russell Crowe dressed as a priest.
Why did you make my film with the Frasier font? He says.
Yeah, it was a good match. Just
was
to set
good,
up the Reed Lashley thing, which I'm all right for. Again, last week, Reed had a match where he said he was a bit under the weather, and everyone said, "You looked horrible." I was like, "I thought you looked all right, mate." Bloody hell.
I thought he was great.
Yeah, me
Love
too.
Reed.
Yeah,
Love Bronson Reed.
people are stupid. Trish is here, and oh my goodness, she's wearing the same outfit as Brock Lesnar. How embarrassing. How dare you not remember TNA because you don't listen to Cultaholic Classic SmackDown.
Yes.
She basically cuts Lita's retirement promo about the role she played in women's wrestling history in the WWE. How she isn't a sidekick and how Becky Lynch is a massive whopper.
Damn.
Trish admits it was her who took out Lita. And even though she wrestled that match like she wanted to win the thing, admits she screwed Becky out of the tag titles. It's kind of all right, this, because people are like, oh, boo. Because the stuff she was saying, there's a lot of truth to it. It is weird that we're seeing Trish come back for this little run, but whatever. But yeah, all the stuff she was saying is like, you wouldn't be here without me.
Yeah.
Anyway, the main event of Raw was not Lita versus Trish. It was Trish. What a main event that was.
I really enjoyed it as well. Her talking about the 4 horsewomen, obviously being those of NXT, Becky being one of them, and she was like, "No, there wouldn't have been anything if it wasn't for me." I'm excited to see a Trish heel run. I think she's mint as a heel, isn't she? She's the best when she's a heel.
She's best. She's absolutely at her best when she is a heel. I just remember this. I'm going to check it from the news that we did today. Fair play to Trish, because it's been revealed she was chatting on Busted Open Radio. She worked WrestleMania injured.
Oh wow!
And
Is
she's
anybody bloody healthy in this company?
No way. Partially torn hamstring. She wrestled. She did
wow.
Mania and the match where she turned on on Becky with a partially torn hamstring.
I heard that because she went, yeah, I wasn't going to be at my best, but then I realised Lita was going to be in it, and I'd still run laps around her. Sorry, man, but...
Damn.
Mate, I'm just saying.
God damn. Anyway.
Chelsea Green nails an unpretty on Michin to score a win for the Karens over Michin and Candice. Wata is thrown by a Karen onto Liv Morgan. Get out of my pub. End of scene.
Nikki Cross is in the crowd, seemingly stalking Candice LeRae.
Oh,
That's a thing they're doing. Nikki was in the crowd sort of waving towards Candice.
They did that a while ago.
Yeah, they did.
That
yeah.
was
I thought
on-
they made it up.
No.
Oh, no, wait, they didn't, did they?
Wait, I
I
thought
stopped
they did.
caring,
I thought
that
she
was it.
was like just like creeping around backstage,
Yeah.
right?
She's still doing it.
She was
must be, yeah.
creeping in the crowd this time.
Be in disguise. The Wallace and Gromit cardboard box.
Yeah. Just the eyes moving.
Cardboard box for blocking green shirt guy's view.
She's there just like messing with her hair with the tape measure, like roll it up.
Kind of, she's like, look, green shirt guy, can you stop touching? He's like, no, it's the box, it's the box.
She's behind.
Oh, yeah, right.
She's behind a standee of Nikki Cross. With the eyes cut out.
Nikki Box.
Nikki Box.
Nicky Box. Lots of people talk about the draft in a segment that was clearly booked by one of those manatees on softball.
It was awful, this bit.
Corbin ends the segment with egg on his face. So in the words of Wallace from Wallace and Gromit Synergy, all's well that ends well.
That's what I say.
All's well that ends well. That's what I always say.
Yay.
That was more Adam Pacitti than it was.
I was
wasn't
actually
it?
expecting you to sound more like you.
Yeah.
Did you break it on the podcast, the news that I told you about Wallace and Gromit?
Oh my god.
That it's canon with Star Wars now.
Pretty good.
You. Oh, last week's podcast.
Yeah, because Aardman are doing a Star Wars short.
Yeah.
And in the background on this one scene, you can see the oven from A Grand Day Out, which therefore means that Wallace and Gromit is in the same universe as Star Wars.
Have you not seen the edit that someone did where they turned Wallace into Darth Sidious and he's just there?
God, mate, that's really old. Everyone's seen
tearing
that.
through Jedi.
Well, it turned Wallace into.
So basically they've like edited Wallace from A Grand Day Out onto Darth Sidious in episode 3, where he's just like tearing through all the Jedi at the Jedi Temple.
I would expect that from Wallace because he'd
would
have the technical
what?
know-how how to make that if need be.
Yeah, no, that's a good point actually. Yeah.
Why did I say something that dumb? I don't know.
No, I liked it.
That sounds good. I'll have to look at that afterwards.
Please do. It's very good.
I'm trying not to think about that when I'm trying to talk about exciting wrestling segments. Like everyone going,
Yeah, sorry.
Wow, get this, guys. You could be all right. All right, we get it.
Sorry, we can't.
And I could be on SmackDown. And Gargano can be at home.
We can't talk about Elias and Rick Boogs because we have to talk about Star Wars instead. Which is far more interesting.
Oh, no. Riddle picks up the win as the good lads beat the gothy bad lads in the main event. There we go. After match, we have a massive brawl involving the Bloodline, the LWO, and the good lads that ends with the babyfaces standing tall. At the end of a WWE show, are we sure, Paul?
If you're unsure of the faction pecking order in the WWE, this entire show determines it. It goes Bloodline, Judgment Day, LWO.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
NXT. In the words of Murr from Impractical Jokers, when he was shot with Novocaine all over his mouth, bombastic businessman Brooks is brilliant. Gallus boys on tap once again. Oh, he actually typed it like that. Wow, I'm happy. Yeah, well done. He can type Scottish. They beat the Creeds in the JYV, shove your Jyads up your tree roots to retain the straps and then take a three-way tag bout. Julius Creed is an absolute dancer. Wah, wah, wee, wah.
It's
Not that again.
Such a good match.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm not gonna lie, it's been a while since I've watched NXT, and this was
don't blame
like such. I was also very surprised at how much they cram into such like it's such a. It feels like a short show. Well, it feels there's a lot. It doesn't necessarily feel short, but I was surprised at how many matches there was on an episode of NXT.
I mean, look all these pages. For
I
NXT.
know, right?
It's like the Iliad.
But this was mint. This was really, really good. The Creed brothers are on another level.
I was going to say, I was like, yeah, it should be good. Oh, it's the bloody match type where 3 people are in at once rather than attacking. But yeah, the Creeds are just on another level.
They are.
I liked the touch where they had the promo for last week and they interrupted it because the fight was kicking off already. I don't think I've ever seen that.
No,
I'm sure it happened probably during the reality era. But I certainly can't remember a time where they've done that, where they've cut off a nice package to go cut to the ring because everyone's flipping fighting.
Yeah, it was good.
NXT
And I echo what you said about the Creed brothers. Like, they are amazing.
I think do we think they're getting drafted up to the main
they've
roster?
got to.
You'd
They're
think
Already won
so
the tag
good.
titles, so it's like,
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they could beat Gallus. It looks like if they are going to do anything to have Gallus come up because Triple H bloody loves them for some reason.
Yeah.
So they make more sense because Creeds are just like, yeah, we're really good. I could see them going up to the main roster. Goes, you need a bit more than that.
Yeah, maybe actually. That's a good
You know,
point.
they have by day they do Creed and coaching, but at night they draw pictures of Pokemon with Omos. I don't know.
Bart
It's a shame.
Simpson.
It's a shame that Alpha Academy are such a comedy foil now because you could have easily brought them up to be with Chad Gable.
Oh yeah.
But I think that'd be lost maybe, because
Well,
they're
maybe
just
that's
great.
what happens. Maybe Otis goes with the maximum male models, and then he needs the Creed brothers because they make up one Otis.
One
so he's got
Otis.
2 people by his side.
2 Creeds and a big coat. Oh wait, what? The draft's this week, isn't it?
No, it's after Backlash.
No, I
And-
think it's before, isn't
I thought
it?
it was before.
Yeah, I'm
Oh, is
pretty
it?
sure. Yeah, I
Oh.
think it is.
Yeah, because
I
that
thought
could
it
be
was
our big question,
post
right?
Backlash. Never mind.
On the ball. We'll follow up on that later on. Dijak walks through the parking lot and survives. Call the police. This has never happened before. It really has. Yeah. Dijak is confronted by Apollo Crews. A camera op is sacrificed. Crews, the defender of the people and the superhero we all need, defends the stricken camera op. The pair agree to a duel later in the night. This is the first indication that Dijak is a bad person.
Yeah.
He's just been walking around going, "It's me,
It's me.
tan lad."
There
with
was
a big coat."
a brief moment though where he was walking through the car park and someone was walking behind him, and I thought, oh, it's a classic NXT car park spot right now. But it wasn't. It wasn't. I was pleasantly surprised.
Hard-hitting home truths with Nathan Fraser debuts. It looks like a John Oliver thing, but instead of taking the piss out of a potential opponent, Nathan talks about himself. It's a load of bollocks, and is one of those things people use as a stick to beat NXT fans with. Shame on everyone involved in this travesty, Ross writes. I don't want to learn things about you and in the process learn things about myself, Nathan, FFS. Who wants to do that? I have similar thoughts. I thought with the dodgy green screen and the setup like that, it looked like he was about to say something that was going to get him cancelled. Nathan Fraser here to say you can grow concrete.
It's I feel like it was. I echo what Ross said, that it looked like somebody was trying to do a Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, but they'd not been shown an episode. They'd just been shown a picture.
Yeah,
And they went, "Is that it? Yeah. What's he talk about? I don't know, himself."
Yeah, you know that show where he talks about, yeah, well,
If
he
he
just talks about himself.
if Nathan Fraser had come along and gone, Axiom, he's crap, in a really fun and quirky way, just run down the roster, I'd have been all in. But it just felt like nothing. It felt like half an idea. It felt like undercooked chicken. It was just like, it's chicken. I can't eat it though. It's nothing.
Yeah.
I'll die.
Yeah.
I'll die if I watch this.
I also don't like how they did him dirty with the look and everything, because he had his hair like all the way thing, and you're like, wow, that's what I want to see, your forehead.
Yeah.
Like, bless him. He ages every 5 years every time he's on TV.
I was thinking that. I was
Hey,
like,
come on,
surely
man.
last time I saw him, he didn't look. Maybe that's the look, the gimmick sort of thing that they're going for
Worn
to
out.
make him look old. Yeah.
He has like
Bless him.
has like a Jude Law type facial structure.
Yeah.
But like, you know how Bill Bailey always said, my face looks like an egg behind a shower curtain. It's a bit that, and like you say, they did him dirty. Because he's a handsome man.
He's a
is
very
Nathan.
handsome man.
But that look with like the clearly rushed tan, the slicked back hair,
that tan's brutal.
and that they did you dirty, Nathan Fraser.
And then
Come back again with new ideas.
And then you're like, all right, so this celeb is going to say something funny, and he just did the DDP 2001 promo.
But not as well.
I like you. You like me. And I'm going to do some yoga.
But would deliver
about
with
the yoga.
nowhere near the energy of it.
So I watched this, I got a bad back.
I was waiting for Adam to call and show his ass on this show. Waiting for the moment.
It was best moments, that lad. Noam Dar kicks Miles Bourne really hard and gets a win in his first match in the big time. This will be the part of the podcast where we say something about him doing cocaine, so we'll move on, I guess.
It's his first time doing NXT, the American NXT. And he's been with the company since 2016.
That is quite
And he's
surprising.
never done
he
NXT.
did, he did 205 Live.
He did 205
Yeah.
Live. He did NXT UK. He's
Yeah.
never done NXT.
No.
Also, top marks to Miles Bourne, who is deaf.
Really?
He's deaf. He was.
That's him. I'm learning about that now.
He had his pulmonary issue when he was younger. He had to have an operation, left him deaf. And I know, like, I'm not going to, want to bang on about that every time because he wants to be a wrestler on his own merit, obviously. But I just think, he's really good as well. Above everything else, he's really good.
Yeah, he is.
And I'd like to see more of Miles Bourne.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a nice little
Great.
tidbit
Yeah.
there.
Little tidbit. You're welcome.
He won't hear this. He'll never know. So, Miles Bourne.
Amazing guy. What a guy.
Early today, JB went to Kiana's office. This would be the bit Ross would be like all over now. So I'm really excited to hear. He'd be giving this to Linda McMahon pop at WrestleMania X7. Went to Kiana's office and asked to talk to Brooks. I'm sorry, the old Brooks Jensen can't come to the phone right now. Why? Oh, because she's dead. And he's even written down Taylor Swift. Yeah, I know. Here's this new Studley muffin who makes all the chickadees holler when he drinks his milkshake down at the diner. BJ says JB should get out of Kiana's office. JB is all kinds of emotional. BJ is tired of being treated like a little child. He's speaking like he's actually lost his virginity now. JB leaves with his emotional tail between his emotional legs.
Pardon my ignorance.
Yeah, and mine.
On behalf of our collective ignorance, what is BJ's business? Stonks. Welcome to BJ Incorporated, where we make your dreams come true with one simple transaction.
It says it, losing matches on NXT.
It was all done out. I was like, but then I'd be the sort of person that would walk past the office and go, what do you do here?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, well, now he's with the evil businesswoman. I guess
business?
he's just inherited her evil powers.
But what's her
Like when Vegeta signed with Majin Buu, got the power by doing the M. Now he's business.
I know that bit of anime. Majin Buu.
Yeah.
Majin Buu!
Was it ever revealed whose name was in the? But I think the last
Funny
time I
enough,
edited
it was
the thing-
actually Majin Buu.
Majin
I
Buu. You're
love of
meeting.
an anime drawing that almost slipped under my door.
Is it
Majin
like?
Buu,
Is
is
it
he
almost
3, 4
like Death Note, another anime where she writes someone's name in the diary and then they
turn into a businessman.
Yeah, and then they turn into a businessman.
That is one way of looking at it,
Yeah.
for sure. I like to think of it, it's like the last episode of Kevin and Perry, when Kevin gets his end away, and then he's suddenly like this, like, at peace of himself.
Yeah.
He's like, hello, parents.
Yeah, like it unlocks the nice version of himself.
You guys sit down. I'll make the dinner today. And then Perry's like, want to hang out and do nothing? Sorry, I'm really busy right now.
Oh, it's quite sad, that ending,
It
wasn't
is.
it? And Perry just left sad on their own, didn't they?
Yeah.
Poor Perry.
It's not real. Odd Jones is here.
Odd Jones.
But he's speared by Bron Breakker, who has completely lost the fisherman inside.
Because he used to be a fisherman, right?
I mean, I guess he still is. He's
well,
not,
yeah.
He's not fishing right now. He's a full-on Steiner now. We're off to the races. Well, everyone is, apart from those fat rednecks. I love that band. Dull Hudson appears in the crowd with the MVP trophy that he snaked. No, MVP trophy in brackets, not Bobby Lashley's Andre the Giant. I like to point that out. It's a trophy of being Chase U's MVP. That he snaked away with last week while his supposed mentor, Andre Chase, was getting moided by Bron. Dull says Bron ruined his MVP ceremony, tore the Chase U flag, and killed his mentor. Why? Because he lost the NXT title? Dull says Bron can't get away with this and challenges him to a match at Spring Breakin'. Dull Hudson then cuts the best promo Professional Wrestling has seen since Finn Balor said meh on this week's Raw. Was I finished? What a moment. He's back being delightful this week, spelled dull-lightful. I like this moment.
I liked it
I can't
as
tell
well.
if Ross is being sarcastic or not, but I thought this was actually a
I
good moment.
enjoyed it because he went, I was going to fight you. Okay, hang on. But you're not fighting me. You're fighting Andre Chase instead.
No, but it was even better because
Brilliant.
he went, the heart of Chase U. The brains of Chase U. Andre Chase. That's right. Next time.
I
Oh,
thought
yeah. Well, I'm going to go get my boat and start. Was that finished?
from all the slander that Dull gets on the podcast and from the segment.
No. That's just from Ross.
Oh, sorry, just from sorry.
Sensible
Sorry.
people with eyes and ears.
Of course.
Delightful. Hudson.
Delightful.
Because Ross thinks, can you believe this? I thought you saying he has this weird, crazy idea. If you listen to those podcasts, that Delightful is only pretending to be friends for Chase U for his ulterior motives.
No.
What?
Can you believe it?
I can't. No.
Can you
I actually
Adam
can't.
and Eve it?
I thought he had some Kavorka, and I thought he put a lot of, I guess as Ross would say, balls behind his promo to like last night, or not last night, on Wednesday, Tuesday, one of the days, NXT
Tuesday.
day. It was, I thought it was really, really good. I thought it was great.
Well, he's had I think recently it's been a bit of a coming out party. For,
Yeah, I've
for Dull
heard
Hudson.
this. Yeah.
He's long gone from the gambling Duke Hudson that we knew before.
Yeah, that was Dull Hudson.
That was Dull Hudson.
It's leveled up.
Now
Yeah.
it's delightful.
Yeah, I thought he delivered an excellent sports entertainment promo here.
Yeah.
I really do.
With all those plants around him.
Yes.
Like the little shop of horrors. Mackenzie is backstage with Cora Jade and asks if she regrets her promo from last week. I like that you're laughing at that.
Yes, it was terrible. I'd like another go.
It was actually crap. I didn't even think of it like that until you started laughing that badly. Yeah, that's actually funny if you think it like that. Cora says her only regret is that the Raven lady interrupted her.
That's one of the
What, like,
witches, right?
From Home Alone 2. I think it's safe to say that we all should be thanking the Raven lady for ending the pain. Gigi Dolan, what are you doing? He does less and less effort every time out of it. Some words are said between the pair before Gigi says her Instagram famous ass is going to kick Cora's tonight. Yep.
There you go.
Less said the better.
Are they going to come back to Cora next week and go, do you regret that one as well?
Every week.
I'm trying.
Do you regret getting in the business?
Sean keeps writing this rubbish.
Kenny Wilson says he couldn't breathe while he was trapped in the boot of Tony and Stack's car last week. Elton Prince, like a candle in the wind, says that next week, Tony and Stax will be the ones in the trunk and sleeping with the fishes. Game on, fellas.
Trunk match, baby.
Trunk match. Yeah.
Trunk match. Look at all that junk in your trunk. Or as we say in the UK, look at all that rubbish in your boot.
Rolls off the tongue.
Got a lot of rubbish in your boot, love.
Pop Rocks for the win as an anxiety-less Roxanne P defeats Zoe Stark in a lovely little grapple, with Booker T once again taking a bump because it means he doesn't have to talk. After the match, Indy Hartwell appears and congratulates Roxy and then offers her a title shot since she never lost her title, and Gargano's kid wants to be a fighting champion. Tiffy Stratz, what are you doing? It's actually managed to type the number 5 while doing that one that time. Tiffany asks if the pair are blind. Another lass getting a shot before her. Shock. Beatable champion is said about 50 times before Indy calls Tiffy a bimbo and books herself in a triple threat match next week. Idiot, says Ross. I mean, Tiffy had a point. It's like, you barely had to climb a ladder. Because, the serial killer showed up and helped her. It's like,
Yeah.
She just broke her back because those people couldn't catch her. So, yeah. She went, all right, go title shot. Shut up. Waller loves his shoey. I reckon he sticks his dick in it.
Shoey. I'll have a shoey.
Thanks, Ross. Like that lad does in American Pie. He then says he's going to beat Mello next week because that loss to Indy's dad doesn't even count because it was an unsanctioned match. He translates this into American. It's great. It's getting harder and harder to boo that lad.
Yeah, he's
so good. He's very, very good.
Come Tuesday, finally opens up. Mere minutes after Stone walked out on him, Stone walked back in on Come. They're back together again and everything is right with the world. Tears.
I love this.
This was so crap. Why don't you tell us, Ross? You're not Ross. Sorry, Tom. Sorry, it's been a long
Robert Stone's
hour.
leaving. He just had enough of him being crap. And Come Tuesday going, no, don't go. I love wrestling. Did I tell you my dad were a Beverly? And then Robert Stone goes, all right, come on. Like
that is literally it as well.
That's literally what it was. Don't go. My dad were a Beverly.
Like he was doing a bit from Hamlet. Like that's it. That's the spark I want to see. He said it in exactly the same type of tone.
Yep.
And dull boredom that he says everything else. So I was like, is this supposed to be the joke?
I'm excited for when he...
Up and at them. No, come on. Up and at them.
When he flummoxes next week and he goes, don't leave Robert Stone. I've got a PlayStation. Just coming up with first excuse.
Do you remember the good life?
I've got the box at home.
Yeah.
Don't leave, Robert. My dad's got some beers in his fridge.
Hello, Wendy's. Stone Cold wants a food.
Don't leave, Robert. Have you seen Stone Cold ET? It's very
Have
funny.
you seen Charlie bit my finger? Yeah. Again, I don't know what's going on with this. I also don't particularly care, so we'll move on. Axiom says he doesn't see a man in the mask when he looks in the mirror. He sees Axiom, who is a man in a mask. He asks Scripps why he hides his voice. They're going to have a match. I bet it's good. # free Reggie. Again, have you guys seen, I think it's last time, have you seen the bit where Axum's in the ring, he's only from 2 weeks ago, and Scripps appears in the NXT Titantron and goes, "It's me, Scripps. I'm going to get you at some undetermined time.
Ole
Watch your back."
Anderson.
He turns around and he's there, and he just gets super kicked by Axiom. What? It is amazing. It's the best thing that happened this year in NXT. None of the matches have come close to that one moment on how hilarious it was.
Oh, wow.
On an unrelated
Wow.
note, if you're playing 2K23 and you play as Reggie, and although if you're fighting against Reggie and Reggie comes out first, and if the computer interrupts the entrance, the computer runs to the ring, gets to the trampoline, can't get past the trampoline, and just runs in the spot on the trampoline.
No.
Do try it for a bit of fun.
Wow.
He can't get past the trampoline.
That's amazing.
You're welcome.
The curse of Last of Summer Wine.
Curse the last some of the wine.
Gigi Dolan is screwed by JC Jane once again in a match with Cora Jade. Booker T is wiped out in the process. Whoops, wrong match, sorry. But survives the ordeal to call the rest of the show, sadly. After the match, though, I thought the match was whatever, JC Jane is finally given a juicy promo as she goes in hard on Gigi and her upbringing. This was juicy. This was so weird because the stuff she was saying was brutal. Like, no wonder your family left you and all this stuff. God, listen to the state of you. But her voice, she made it sound like she was about to say, and you're watching the Disney Channel.
It was really odd. Literally, she came out the door and they go, "Why did you attack Gigi?" Because she walked out on her brother and her mum's an alcoholic, and I can't believe her mum's alcoholic because she walked out on her brother. You know what? Did I mention that she walked out on her brother and her mum's alcoholic? Could have beat you. Like, so sad you'll be upset you left your brother with your mum, who was also an alcoholic. Disney. It was weird.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't believe what she said. Did you hear it? She mentioned something about an alcoholic mother.
Hey guys, you're watching NXT. Sorry, your house burned down. Bye.
And then they do with the one.
Drawing a pint of beer in there.
Sorry.
Weird.
We also see Cora get the mic again before she's cut off almost immediately by the Raven Lady. She talks like a nerdy virgin as it looks like the pair are set for a match next week. Lucky us. I hope Booker T takes a bump in that one as well. Eddie Thorpe thinks people have stereotypical views of Native Americans, but he's here with his DJ Dex to make everyone bounce at the ounce.
Oh, DJ Tatanka, loving life.
Yeah, I call him DJ Yiff because he's got that collar. Damon Kemp.
We should call him DJ Strongbow.
Damon. That works in two. I like that actually.
There you go, DJ Strongbow.
good.
Damon Kemp speaks like a tenured vet, even though he isn't. Isn't he good? And it looks like these two are now on a collision course together. God, I can only hope so. Damon Kemp's like, "I'm watching you," and he's like, "Why? I've got something else to be doing."
Did you hear about Gigi's mum? She's alcoholic.
Fallon meets with JB at the bar, and he says he can't make sense of what is going on. No one can. Fallon says Kiana has BJ wrapped around her little finger, and things will come right in the end. Kiana and BJ walk into a bar, this isn't the setup for a joke, by the way, and turn down the offer of a drink. BJ tells his former pals that he is the best member of their team, and they're just jealous of what he and Kiana have. An intergender tag team match is on next week. Oh, be still, my beating heart.
I can understand why Ross is very invested in NXT. It gives very soap vibes, like soap show vibes.
Yeah,
and
as in you'd rather be eating soap than watching this. I agree. We're on the same level.
But I mean there's a lot of drama. There's certainly this is certainly a lot of something anyway in NXT. It always baffles me because sometimes I do take quite long breaks before seeing episodes, and to see where things have gone or what new things have developed. Wrestling. It's just wrestling.
It's wrestling, isn't it?
Wrestling.
In certain parts of the world, it is. Dijak gets a massive win over Apollo Crews, but is then attacked by Ilya Dragunov while Dijak is attacking Apollo after the bell. Dijak is sent out the ring, and that's that. Yes, that's what it says. Yeah. It was like, hey, okay, Apollo Crews, yeah, you're making this guy look good now. It's like, is this the end? Are you with the Drew McIntyre now?
Yeah.
NXT 2.0.
It's a shame because Apollo Crews was on SmackDown and drifted into sort of this lower mid card position. So the NXT, he went to NXT to be revitalized, and he's somehow slipped into the lower mid card position of NXT
How
as
could
well.
he not see that coming? He's
should have seen
he's got the powers now.
Aye. That means we're going to get Ilya versus Dijak anyway. Oh, it's going to be nice.
Happy with that.
I'm
yeah.
up for that. That's going to be a
Absolutely.
banger.
I like Dijak just been like, and
Kiss
Ilya
me.
like. It's good contrast of styles. Wes Lee retains his North American title against Charlie Dempsey, despite the best efforts of Drew Gulak. Yeah.
Different energy from this one about the rest of the night. Everything else is very fast paced, and this is very much Charlie Dempsey doing his technical wrestling shenanigans. I enjoyed it immensely.
Yeah. I think it's funny as well. It's like, wow, Charlie Dempsey, he's so good. He's so great. He's better than anyone in the ring. And Drew Gulak still attacks Wesley anyway.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I'm sure you've already said this as well on the podcast, but like Dempsey does look like the love child of William Regal and Pete Dunne.
Yep.
It's insane
So
how
proud
much
of
they
them.
look like
So
each
proud of
other.
them.
It's amazing.
Obviously, doesn't win matches like him, but hey-oh. Tony and Stax are at a different-looking Italian restaurant than the one they're normally at, and they're talking about a bad thing that they've done in the past that they intend to repeat on Pretty Deadly. Next week, we're getting a trunk match,
Hey.
whatever the bloody hell that is.
It's a casket match, but with a car.
With a car, yeah.
It is funny that they are just, hey, we're Maffew, and that's all you're given to cheer for them.
Yep.
That's all you're given. And it's like, they do know, like, stuff like The Sopranos, people like it because of the well-written characters and storylines and stuff. It's not
Nope.
just, hey, the mob,
That's
all
all
right.
it is,
Yeah.
I threw him in the river, man.
Hey, kill the guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yay.
It's murder.
Yeah.
Did we mention with the mob? Hey!
Yeah,
That's
oh, you're so good, nice. What? Yeah, so it's just them in an Italian restaurant and no laptop in sight. So you can do that new thing with you guys.
How
it's like,
good would that be if in an NXT segment if Jack is just in the background?
That'd be the ultimate revenge on us, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
if he
that
turns
would
on
be
NXT.
so good.
with his
I was
laptop.
waiting for the high spot, the hottest moment, aka a random segment on NXT 2.0. Obafemi has the best debut promo package in the history of the wrestling. I completely agree.
Yeah.
He's throwing things as far as he can in a field to display his power. It's brilliant and makes him seem like someone who shouldn't be allowed to freely roam the streets. He's throwing sofas
Oh my
in a
God.
field, man. I love this so much. This should have been a Hall of Fame if Star Wars hadn't happened.
I hope it turns out that he's a renovator and he's just out there just like stripping out people's front rooms. And then the next week we see the delightful job that he's done in someone's home.
I don't
I've-
like wrestling as like throwing couches.
Slightly different. I hope he's in every delivery driver.
That's really good.
On a sofa, there you go.
Instead of the APA booking, like, oh, can you watch me back? It's like booking him on like Fiverr.com. You might have these guys interfere in this match, but I do have Obafemi. No! Reversing his truck in the NXT shed.
Obafemi. Yes.
Hang on.
Yeah, I can do it running.
Up you go.
You need to buy the sofa. Happy to throw it, but you need to buy it.
The winner of the NXT title and new couch owner.
That's how he wins the
Yeah.
title. Just lobs a couch on Carmelo Hayes. There you go.
His little feet, like Wizard of Oz.
Like the Wizard of Oz. He takes his shoes, clicks them 3 times, and teleports to the main roster.
in Australia. Oh. Waller and Mello talk some words to end the show. Their match should be good next week, as should NXT Women's Championship match. Indy Hartwell versus Tiff Stratt versus Roxanne Perez. Bron Breakker versus Andre Chase. Fallon Henley and JB versus Kiana James and BJ. Cora Jade versus Raven Lady. And the trunk match. The Mobs versus the English.
Yeah.
Also, that ending segment was wonderful because they were just talking so much smack between them. And they both got some good lines, and him saying, what was it? Well, yeah, you may have had a good match at the show, but you know it's a 6 out of 10, which in fairness is better than any woman you've ever had. And everyone, oh, and then Waller went, that's just not true. I've got an Australian accent.
He's buzzing. I love Waller so much.
And they both held up the things that were dearest and closest to them. The NXT title And the golden shoe.
The shoe.
Nice to have a segment like that, a talk show segment, end without a brawl.
Yeah, I was expecting that as well, but yeah, we never got it.
Didn't need it.
It's bounced around my head ever since you said the Mob versus the English in a trunk match. What if Pretty Deadly turned up with an elephant? Well, that's a trunk. That's a boot you've got there.
Your Honor.
Semantics.
Says here, a trunk.
There's a trunk match. I've brought an elephant.
So then Obafemi has to launch it out. There we go. What a debut.
So was Nelly the elephant driving?
You all right?
Nelly the elephant packed her trunk and said goodbye to the circus. So was she driving?
Oh,
I think
She in a
I think that's
car?
what they call a play on words, Mr. Radio. She
but I mean,
packed her trunk.
you do bring up a genuine.
Thank
question
you,
there.
Andrew.
Packed
We're
a
doing
trunk.
English language this week for all the kids at school.
We started the show with Mrs. Doubtfire. Don't say that this is beneath us or off the point.
It's just funny, the stuff. You're talking about serious stuff, like it's the daft stuff in the world, but the daft stuff, you're like, whoa, lads.
Yeah, lads. Nelly the
Breaking
elephant.
news, I've just realised a pun. From 40 years ago.
News just in. Pun.
Speaking of puns, there's none here. It just says AEW. Ross is writing this on zero sleep and with an F-off ear infection, so sorry if they make no sense, XO. Let's see what he's written. Street Clothes Jack Perry is here and can hardly get a word in before Sammy Guevara arrives, looking like a member of East 17. Darby Allin is then on the scene and tells Sammy that he's known him the longest and likes him the mostest. However, Darbs thinks people view Sammy as a follower. Darbs and Sting view each other as equals, while Sammy and Jericho don't. It's not called the Sting Appreciation Society.
The
Darbs...
SAS.
Oh my God!
Oh,
That's why it's not called that.
the Super Army Soldiers.
Oh God!
Oh my! Oh, I haven't seen that in so long, Maffew.
Darbs tells Sammy that it wouldn't lie to me. Darbs tells Sammy that Jericho's holding him back, and he'll have to win the title on his own. Darby reckons Street Clothes Jack Perry didn't even have to work that hard to get where he is today. While Darbs was sleeping in his car, Street Clothes Jack Perry was being announced as All Elite, and that made Darby very jealous. Street Clothes Jack Perry, says it every bloody time, sees a lot of kids with Darby's face paint on, and all he can think of is what they would all do if they only knew the real Darby Allin. He's antisocial, unfriendly and rude, and he only made it here because he couldn't make it as a skateboarder. Street Clothes Jack Perry calls Sammy a dirtbag and says he respects him the most out of the three pillars because for better or worse, what you see is what you get. This is going on a bit, isn't it? Eventually, MJF is on the scene and tells the three pillars in the ring to stop fighting over him because it's making him blush. There's going to be a pillars tournament because all three lads are tied in the rankings, and the winner of said tournament will face him at DON. No four-way, WTF, man. No, WTF moments, silly. Darby gets a bye in the first round as his name is pulled out of a hat. Jungle Boy and Sammy will have a match tonight. They're first, apparently, according to Mr. MJF, who wouldn't lie to us, rather like Ross Kemp. Yeah, I agree. It really showed the differences in talent on the mic, because even though MJF can be very derivative and also very like, that's right, I hate you and your mother sucks and I'm glad her teeth fell out and stuff. I'm actually emotionally distraught and need a big hug every now and again. Screw you, I hate everybody. You know, it's a bit... But, yeah, Head and Shoulders is obviously used by Jack Perry above the other three lads because Darby should let Sting talk for him for a start. Yeah. And the material they were going on about, it's... A lot of AEW does seem to be based on, well, with the Elite especially. Remember that thing that happened 5 years ago? But now they've run out of New Japan stuff to talk about and reference because everyone's in WWE now or whatever. So now it's like, remember when you first started AEW 3 years ago and it was good, but it wasn't. And you're a fake skateboarder.
Yeah, it's...
And you're a stinky poo-poo head. And you only got hired because you were part of that California clique. And you're like, what do we care? What do I care about any of the things you're talking about?
It's so strange as well because I thought with this going on and heading into this feud and perhaps them having a four-way is what I thought. Well, that sounds sexy.
That's what
doesn't
everybody.
it?
I think
a lot of people were thinking that, and if they're if these are like the four pillars, the three pillars, I would have thought they'd have gone in with a bit more like energy and a bit more which sounds really bad, and I don't want to take because they're all phenomenal wrestlers, like they're so good, but when it comes to the mic, it just feels like it just falls so dead when they're all in the ring together.
Especially the crowd were wanting it, and it's not just us saying this. It's like if everyone going, "Ooh, be all right," but the crowd were like, yeah. And also, I'm wondering, they keep on referencing the pillars, and like. I know because I'm a nerdy nerd. You can tell by my constant references. I know about Old Japan and the 4 pillars and this. But it's going to be weird if you're just watching the show for the first time and going, why do they keep on calling them pillars when MJF is up here and the other lads are here?
Yeah.
And
they could do something that references why they're the 4 pillars.
Yes, because that's not the bloody thing it's holding's looking like that then. And that guys. They keep on saying pillars. I'm wanting now. This is the perfect timing for like a Muslim wrestler to come up and goes, I've got 5 pillars, bitch. Ha ha ha. That's how he laughs.
I really like Jack Perry.
Street Clothes Jack Perry.
Street Clothes Jack Perry. I don't for a second buy him as an AEW World Heavyweight Champion.
That's the issue. Yeah.
That's the issue. I really like Darby Allin. I don't know if I buy him as a world champion. Maybe Sammy Guevara. But these are heat's coming my way. I know because the 4 pillars. I don't buy him, and there's probably character work you can do. But seeing all 3 in the ring together and going, this is the main event scene.
Yeah, it's All Japan Pro Wrestling.
They're all great.
Yeah, it's like All Japan Pro Wrestling. The equivalent would be 1 Kabashi and 3 Tawais right now.
That's kind of yeah. That's it.
But no, the pillars like okay, stop saying pillars.
It's like Sammy trying to elicit a reaction from the crowd as well. Just feels
it's the weirdest thing because they go back and forth. Like on Rampage a few weeks ago, they're going like, "That's right, you may not like me or respect me or think I suck and I'm pretty and I did that thing where I proposed to my last and I dumped her and then I married someone else and all this other stuff and Eddie Kingston. But you have to respect me." And I'm like,
no, I don't.
No. What the hell did you just say? No, I don't. I'm not bloody Davey Melty Melts. I'm like, no, you suck, boo.
Because a millionaire that runs a wrestling company says, oh, you're one of the main parts of the business.
Yeah, right. Like,
no, I don't have to. I'll decide whether I do.
As he's in the corner of the ring chewing gum, where
oh yeah,
you have to respect my talent. No, I don't.
No, we don't.
You're a get. Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker defeat Ruby Soho and Tony Storm after Baker makes a last tap out. God, the crowd were into Britt Baker.
Really?
Yeah, it was. I enjoyed this tag match.
Very fun match.
Hayter and Britt were buzzing together. Really, as they always are usually. But like, yeah, it was a really fun match to watch.
Just a feel-good tag match for locals.
For little.
Look at that. We've looked at 2 AEW segments. One that was very bad. One that was very good. And we've addressed them accordingly. It's just often people have to either say you're either completely pro AEW or completely anti AEW.
What about CM Punk, Tom?
You can't be. There's no grey area. There's all grey area. It's all grey area.
It's all grey.
It's all grey.
Liked it. I thought that Hayter leaning into the Britt Baker love, I thought was brilliant. I thought the finish was really nice. Where like Baker couldn't quite pin Ruby, and just the opportunity came to go way lockjaw.
Yeah,
nicely done. I like the Outcast now; they feel a bit more in sync, like attire-wise and persona-wise and swagger-wise. I feel more connected to that gang than I have done before, and we'll do more by the end of the night.
Yeah, they're getting there. Renee asks Wardlow if he has a different approach for his match with Hobbs tonight. Wardlow says, yeah, I plan on winning. I know. Wardlow says, not too long ago, he had a horseman ringside who taught him things about playing the field. And for the match, he's reached out to another. Arn Anderson. Arn does some Arn things before saying Tully taught Wardlow how to play checkers, but tonight, Arn teaches him to play chess. And the crowd went, yay! Because they all love chess in this area.
Big fan of the musical.
Yeah.
One night in
Chess.
Bangkok and the heart Chess the musical.
There's a musical about chess.
Yeah, it's called Chess the musical. Yes.
Was this a recent thing or
No.
Chess the
My
musical?
Hall of Fame nomination for next week is Maffew not knowing Chess the musical.
How does that even work?
Chess the musical.
But yeah, my mate was like, oh, he's like, have you seen the Raul Moat thing? And
Musical.
I went, oh, it's a documentary. He goes, no, it's a dramatization, I said. I don't think he was used to that word. And he went, what, with songs and that? And I tried to
Raul Moat
imagine.
the musical.
And I went, no. And I went, No, if I get you to watch it, then yeah. But I was there like, how would that even bloody work? Could
Not
it?
a clue.
Not very well, I imagine, but it sounds a lot more better than Chess the Musical. You pull a
Real
microphone.
thing. Yes.
Actually real.
It's a real thing, Chess the Musical.
I don't trust you.
How dare you?
I'll have a look
so
during
what?
the
How,
break.
wait, did they
Dan,
like?
Google Chess the
Yeah,
Musical.
yeah. If you have that on the background, Dan, Dan's writing his novel right now rather than listening to this. But.
Is it like people are in a chess tournament singing
Yeah.
about chess, or are the actual chess pieces
It's the
on the
story.
board?
It's a musical by Lenny Anderson. It's all about like a controversial chess tournament.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes more sense.
Yeah. There you go. It's a thing. Chess
a
the
thing.
Musical is a thing. Thank you very much. I feel vindicated.
We're talking about chess, baby. We're talking about you and me.
It's not the. Oh no, I was thinking about the recent chess thing, right? About someone sitting on.
Oh, the Queen's
That's
Gambit.
what- yeah, that's.
No,
what-
no. The real
No,
life thing. Yeah, I remember that.
So there was. I don't know if. Do you know this song?
Which is that?
So someone was
where he
accused
was.
of
Yeah.
sitting on something.
He had a little thingy up his bum bum.
Yeah.
That vibrated to make him make the right moves in the game of chess.
Can't wait for that
Yeah,
musical.
the Queef's Gambit. Sorry.
Do you hear a fun factoid? Thank you very much for that.
Thank you, Dan.
Go back to the Queen's League.
The Queen's Gambit, which is the Netflix series about chess.
Yeah.
I went into Waterstones and they had the Queen's Gambit, the board game. I was like,
Awesome.
so that's
Wait, that's chess,
That's
then?
just chess. You've just re-released chess.
Wow.
Silly beans. Anyway,
It's like Street Fighter, the movie, the game.
it is that. It is that.
A super serial Kenny Omega is here with his friends in the Elite. And you know Kenny Omega is being serious because he's got a moody face on, he's got dark hair, and he's got an Akira Toriyama Dragon Ball Z shirt. Kenny labels the BCC 4 of the best wrestlers on the planet until they made his friends bleed their own blood, which means they're dicks now. The image of the screwdriver in the turnbuckle is seared into Ken's brain. He wishes he could get that screwy D and stick it into John's head. Danielson appears in the Tron and calls the Elite amateurs. More words lead to Mox, Claudio, and the Great Yuta attacking him from the rear. But the Bucks take over because they are valiant. But then the BCC take control again, which brings out Danielson to label the Elite amateurs once more. I'd point out, like, Danielson watched from the back until the BCC got the advantage. They went, aha, now I'll come out, which is a great bit of poo-housery. Don Callis is here with a chair, but is scared off to the back by Danielson. But then Don wheels out Takeshita, and he starts battering fools. The BCC are sent sprawling by Kenny Omega and Takeshita, and Don holds their arms aloft.
Oh, I don't know if John's got some other plans though. I feel like maybe Don's gonna turn on the Elite, maybe even take Takeshita with him to perhaps the Blackpool Combat Club.
Oh, that'd be horrible.
It did feel like there was, because I feel like there has to be something afoot here because wasn't that long ago where Dom was like, no, don't go see your mates in hospital. Focus on being a solo wrestler. You're a singles wrestler
Yeah.
now, Kenny. Get out there and be a singles wrestler. I've booked you some great singles matches. And now he's like, here's a tag partner, friends. There has to be another
I
ring
think there's
match.
gonna be something.
If not, it's a very confusing bit of messy storytelling.
Hope it's just Kenny Omega has a mate who's also a dickhead. And that's as far as it goes, because then it leads more Kenny versus the Bucks, so they've splitting up stuff. Them joining the Blackpool Combat Club, which is already big enough, stable as it is, would be silly. Silly
But
billies.
then, right, I think you could have 5. So you've got the 5. You've got Danielson, Claudio, Yuta, Moxley, and then maybe Takeshita. And then you've got Kenny, the Bucks, Hangman, and Ibushi on the other side.
Well, you've got me there. So.
Well, your lack of silence there made me go, nah, that didn't land with Maffew there. Like, not at all.
That was good. But no, I love this beatdown because it's funny. Like, well, Blackpool Combat Club, they're getting booze because they're just battering people. The Bucks try to deal with the battering by doing Northern Lights suplexes and super kicks.
Yeah.
And so they took them down and beat them up. I'm like, oh, great. Yes, finally. Like, it was,
I'm sure Gallus in one of their bar fights have hit a Northern Light suplex onto a pool table.
Wardlow wins the TNT title. What, really? After 3 power bombs to Powerhouse Hobbs. I hope they're happy with all the TV time QTV got while Hobbs was champion, it says here. After Bell, the new Christian Cage and Luchasaurus are here to stare at Wardlow and his massive muscle tits. This was interesting because Wardlow with Arn Anderson is finally getting cheered properly. It's at the expense of Hobbs, who's getting cheered probably louder than this before the last pay-per-view, and they decided to go, no, we're not going that direction. So this was really weird to me because it's like, okay, they're building up Hobbs with the QTV stable, which is, I know, amazing, but, someone must like it. And he's lost the title on TV.
Yeah.
There was some build-up with the car and doing the no-hands forklift in the car and stuff like that. But it still feels like a rush thing by the other stands of AEW. Yeah. And then immediately after he won the title, it's like, you're the new champion, yay. Then Christian Cage music plays. I'm like, has Hobbs and or QT done something to annoy somebody?
Yeah,
like, this was so abrupt.
Like they've just been pushed to the side immediately.
It's considering how the noise Hobbs was getting a month ago. It's like, is there something I'm missing, or is it just that AEW hard right that you sometimes get?
I think that's been happening quite a bit with the TNT title recently, especially just the hot pocket, especially between Wardlow and then Hobbs and then Wardlow again, and then giving like Wardlow someone straight away, especially someone like a returning Luchasaurus who I think, really you'd want him to win to make him look like a big baddie anyway. But then you wouldn't want to take the title off Wardlow again. So it's like, I don't really know what they're doing or where they're going with it. Yeah.
Weird, but again, at least Wardlow was getting the cheers that I've been wanting him to get. So it was like, all right, it took sacrificing QT and Hobbs, but yeah.
So Arn do a nice DDT on QT Marshall, which was nice to see. Arn gave us a nice DDT.
Yes.
And then he pulled out the Glock. No, he didn't.
That was... He did the silhouette of the Glock.
He did.
And the crowd popped for the Glock. Arn Anderson, who famously went, if someone cut me up, I would shoot them. Calm, perfectly calm and reasonable. Arn Gun Control Anderson.
Folks, where's the lie?
Where's the lie?
Renee is interviewing Sammy G when they're cut off by MJF. MJF always likes Sammy and has an agreement that would benefit the pair of them. He heard Sammy say everyone was more successful than him, so MJF is offering Sammy a guaranteed spot for the title at Double or Nothing, and all he has to do is lay down. Sammy says he'll beat the other pillars and then win the title. MJF says that won't happen, so there's a guaranteed shot at the title and a blank check with Sammy's name on it if he wants it. So Sammy writes a number on there and MJF goes, blah, 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 blah. Okay. They go to shake on it, but Sammy says, friends hug, not shake, so the pair of twats hug it out. You remember that film, Blank Check?
Yes, where the guy wrote a blank check.
Yeah, and then the kid got it and you spent loads of money.
I do remember that, yeah.
And one of the dudes from Twin Peaks is the villain. He's like, all right, you're better than this, mate.
With hilarious results. So was it to come around the same time as Mrs. Doubtfire?
It sounds like it would.
Yeah.
You said juggling, but yes. That and Chester Musical. It was a great day to go to see. Again, this is like a nice bit of TV, but at the same time, it's like, you're not really doing what you're doing with the world title. This, Sammy G again? Okay, fair enough. A Blade Runner is enough to see Jay White beat Commander, but this doesn't impress Sean Spears with the perfect 10 holding up a 5 in the crowd. Womp womp. I guess it's one more than Brett would have given. Spears is pulled out the crowd by a furious Juice Robinson, and the BC members stick the boot to the former chairman. Ricky Starks hits the ring for the save. He's so sexy.
Commander's great.
I was going to say, everyone has been going, dun, 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 Jay White is coming here and all this stuff. You're like, wow, wait till you see Jay. Maffew, you don't think much of him, but wait till you see him. He's going to knock your cotton socks off. And I spent this match going, God, Commander's good.
Yeah. I think you say that if you put anybody up against Commander, though. Commander's the one that your eyes are just always drawn to, right?
Right. So I was like, okay, so this match is... A Commander is being used to not only make Jay White look good, but to also build up Sean Spears. And then if there's time at the end, Ricky Starks. That's certainly not how I would put this together, but my dad is not a billionaire, so fair play to you, mate. What did you guys think of the mega hyped... What do you mean you idiots don't watch New Japan? Let's pretend it's 2017 and you do.
The crowd weren't they came up for Commander stuff. They weren't into Jay White. Maybe I looked at it differently, but they didn't seem to be into Jay White as much as I think many hoped they would be.
Yeah.
Jay White's certainly not a bad wrestler.
No, not at all.
But I think in a climate like AEW, he doesn't leap off the page.
Yeah, I wonder if maybe obviously Bullet Club being one of the biggest stables in wrestling, but at the moment it just doesn't feel like a hot commodity, and I wonder if them sort of really hammering that fact as well and just people not really gelling with it is maybe putting people off a little bit, or maybe not putting people off, but maybe they're just like, I'm not really, because maybe they haven't seen all this stuff on New Japan and everything that's happened. They're just like, I'm not really invested in it. I really, really like Jay White as a wrestler. I think he's mint. And I don't think there's been enough of him on TV yet to really say it was either a good shout for them to get him or not a good shout to get him. Remains to be seen. I think we're leading towards the Bullet Club Gold or whatever they're called in AEW and
Whisper Gold.
Bullet Club, Whisper Gold, and then just a regular Whisper
the one with
in New
caramel,
Japan.
right? Is that how it works?
Yeah. I once got a Whisper Gold, and all the caramel was on the outside, and it was hollow inside.
Oh. Does that mean that you win
hang on.
£1,000 or a tour around the chocolate
wish.
factory?
Yeah, Andrew just missed out the things. If you get the rare hollow caramel, you win a minute. Oh, I
I'm just
love these,
eating it
mate.
like, what's going on?
Look out for the rare Whisper.
There's a check in the middle. Who's put that there?
Look out for the rare Whisper Gold with a piece of jagged glass in it. It gives you a tour of the factory.
Oh, I'm never eating caramel again. It's horrible.
But yeah, I'm still intrigued to see what happens, because I do think we'll lead into Forbidden Door, like the new Bullet Club in AEW versus like the old in
Oh, God.
in New I know that not a lot of people are into it now. With David
That's going to
Finlay
like Kane
now, right?
versus fake Kane from
Yeah.
06.
Oh, what a time. Be still
a
my
time.
beating heart.
And that guy, fake
And
Kane
one
was
of
in the
them's in
bar.
it. One of them's in it.
I hate it when I do a joke and it's real. Ugh. So, bullet dud, says Andrew. Well done. FDR has shown footage of Mark Briscoe being attacked earlier today. They rush to a locker room, and they run a hell of a lot quicker than the Young Bucks, let me tell you, where Mark is being checked on by Jay, Jeff, FDR tell their pal Mark they'll take care of it. FDR and Mark's pal Jay agreed to team together to avenge their fallen pal. Yeah.
I think there was a little bit as well. I think from what I saw on Twitter, people were clipping as FDR were running to the back. There was a little hidden Pepsi machine can thing in the background there, which maybe might be a little Easter egg.
And behind that Pepsi can was the Fiend.
Was the face of Tony Blair. The face of Tony Blair. If you listen to the audio podcast, you missed the treat of Maffew's face the moment that Andrew dropped the bombshell of the Pepsi can.
I wouldn't mind CM Punk discussion if it was any way near interesting. It's the most tedious circle jerk I've ever seen in my life. So I'd like to thank them all for me watching all of Barry getting ready for the TV series. Rather,
Is it good?
Oh, go
I've not
watch
seen
that.
Barry. It looks
if
very
you like
good.
comedy and tension,
Yeah.
you will love this.
Nice.
And it's a lot better than just go online and say, well, CM Punk. That's me running like FTR away from any discussion.
Past the Pepsi can.
Yeah, running away
Past
from the Pepsi.
The ominous Pepsi can.
Past the ominous sign that
no,
says...
guys, no. Damn it.
Pepsi Max cans in front of us. We were terrible. Just behind that sign that says CM Punk is coming back soon.
Imagine it, as when we were talking before about Nikki Cross hiding behind like Nikki Cross is CM Punk, but the eyes are cut out of a Pepsi can dispenser thing just in there.
CM Punk is hiding in the machine.
Pepsi Man. The JS and Adam Cole do some things. Poor Ross. Adam Cole is being 03 Jericho, and Jericho is being 03 Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a nice comparison, isn't it? The pair shake hands after Cole kisses his bum for a hot minute. Oof. Jericho is happy Cole has said the things he said, and has been watching his stuff for a while. But from the bottom of his heart, he has zero respect for Cole. Lol, that was a good bit. Cole then turns into every one of the four pillars, cutting a promo towards MJF at the moment, as he asks Chris, when was the last time he looked in a mirror to ask who's the real Chris Jericho?
That's who is Axiom.
It's not a man wearing a mask. Cole thinks Chris is an insecure, fickle, silly goose. Tee-hee. No, he says fickle, stupid idiot. I thought it was a joke. He did all the Jericho bits.
He
from
did,
317.
yeah.
Yeah, I think Paul Ross has missed that. Oh, I don't like him.
It felt like when Homer rings the Dean up and he's like, "Hello, Dean, you are a stupid head."
Homer, is that you? And he turns his head that way and sees him. You're stupid.
It was
I
like
think you're a stupid head.
said with that conviction. It was great. It got me.
Jericho turns to Shania Twain by saying Cole does not impress him much. 2 for 2 for Shania Twain, this podcast. Jericho shoves Cole. Cole attacks Jericho. Garcia is here to lay the smackdown. Britt Baker's here to even the odds. And she slaps Jericho. Hey-ya! It's the Outcast from under the ring. Garcia cuffs Cole to the ropes. The Outcasts are attacking Brett, Hell, 3-1. A kendo stick gets involved. Cole threatens Jericho to hit him, but Jericho hands a stick to Saraya, who beats Britt with it. Britt is screaming, Austin, which is Cole's shoot name, apparently. I didn't even hear that. I thought she was just doing her best Jim Ross wrestling accent. But instead of Steve with a chair, we had Saraya with a stick.
What if she was saying, stings?
Yeah, I didn't.
She's got Sting. Sting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Help me, Sting.
Yeah, Adam Cole hasn't got any friends, apparently. So, yeah, Sting. I like the talky bit. Oh, it's good. Like,
You didn't like the walkie bit?
I grew up respecting you and loving you, Jericho. That's great. Oh, that means so much, Adam Cole. I don't like you or care for you at all. That was like, yeah, cool. And then the attack was like oddly forced, but
Yeah.
because it's like, oh no, not the Singapore Cane, and you're like, that's such a throwaway weapon in any NXT or AEW brawl. It's like,
Yeah.
Hot take, would it have been more eye-grabbing, more shocking if Jericho had clattered Britt Baker? Yeah, it's a dicey one. Just wanted to put that in there because I thought that's what was going to happen.
Me
Adam
too.
Cole was going, come on, hit me, come on, I ain't scared of you. And then Jericho handed it to Saraya, who laid some sort of half-hearted shots in.
'Cause-
if Jericho had just gone, bang, once,
like Tommy Dreamer did to him at the Rumble.
akin to how when Triple H was handcuffed to the ropes,
That's what I was
Randy Orton
thinking.
RKO'd Stephanie. I need to do it the once.
It might be building up to that.
Maybe. I just thought that'd have been a fun bit.
Yeah.
You know, and
Fun bit.
Yeah, for lack of a better term.
Twat.
And how very WWE for someone to get beaten down in their hometown. How very WWE.
Yep.
Yeah, I see you.
The Acclaimed and their scissoring father defeat the JAS lads. That was it, really.
Fun
the
little
highlight,
six-man.
The highlight was Billy Gunn, suck it, and Taz going, subtle. And in your main event of the evening, an MJF punch to the head of Jungle Boy allows Sammy G to pick up the win. After the match, MJF celebrates in the ring with his new best friend, who he bought with money and opportunity. A wholesome tale. We've all been there, right?
Jungle Boy's bump into the table looked pretty nasty.
Yeah, he did. It was a good match, this.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed it.
He hit, because obviously he jumped off and it didn't quite hit, and he landed, and it was quite painful. So he yelled, oh, me back.
He shouted, Sting!
It stings!
It stings!
No.
Too late, I'm here now. 10 grand.
I love the idea that Sting's just always on hand. Like when he hears his name, he's like ready. Oh,
You have to yell his name like Candyman for some reason.
I don't know what to do about this Sting. Butter. Ing nettles in my garden.
You
slowly.
Yeah,
His music plays in reverse.
Reverse.
Lightning cracks backwards.
Birds just
Snow
gone.
goes back up.
It's also funny as well. It's like, okay, so the story is Adam Cole is a good guy, Jungle Boy's a good guy. Neither of them have any friends in the company where nearly everybody's in a stable.
Yeah.
Keith Lee, where were you last week?
Where was Keith?
Where was Keith? That's a good point.
Resting after having that hard match last week. I
What was
guess.
everyone's favourite granddad, Keith Lee?
He was watching the things we've been referencing.
What are the good life?
Yeah. Going, I love this. I love these up-to-date shows.
I feel like Keith would be a big fan of the good life, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all want that.
He'd love
we
that.
all want that.
Yeah. And Jungle Boy doesn't have any friends because they both turned on him.
Yep.
And everyone went back to his own planet. So it's not a good look, is it? At least Darby's got Sting. Sammy was bored. Friendless Jack Perry wearing a jacket. Your pay-per-view main offender. On that bombshell, that was the week in wrestling. Thank you, Ross.
Let's have a rummage in our mail bags.
Mailbag.
You've got to read mailbag every time we send a mailbag. You know that's the rule. Mailbag about to go down. Mailbag. Shout mailbag to low to the ground. Mailbag.
Mailbag.
You gotta say mailbag every time we do the mailbag. You know that's the rules. Thank you.
Beautiful. Hi, boys. It's always... What? I've always wanted to message in the mailbag, but never had anything noteworthy to say until now. Don't worry, that doesn't stop anybody else.
It certainly doesn't.
Bernard's watch has been brought up a few times in the podcast, and I have some groundbreaking news to let you all in on. Last week, my brother-in-law informed me that Bernard himself is now practicing GP in my hometown of Nottingham.
Wow.
Unfortunately, after a quick name check, it was clear that he does not work at my local doctor's. However, the surname rang a bell. So, after a very brief Facebook search, I stumbled upon an earth-shattering discovery. Bernard's wife is also a GP at, you guessed it, my doctor's.
Wow.
Now, as you can imagine, my head well and truly fell off here, as I'm sure Ross's will too.
So he had to go to the doctor's.
Yeah. Oh, you did it. You're to blame. I have been in face-to-face contact with Bernard's watch's real-life spouse. What a claim to fame that is. That brings me to my question, of which I don't actually have one. I just wanted to tell you that story and fill you in on this huge news. Keep doing what you're doing, lads. It's a pleasure to watch and support you all. All the best, Sam. In brackets, not a retired professional footballer, from a substandard 2000s Prem team. Providing scathing criticism there of the football naming system from Sam, who redeemed himself with his lack of anything, any content from us. Just, by the way, my doctor is Bernard's wife's.
Bernard's wife.
Bernard's wife's.
Bernard's watch's wife's
Bernard's Maffew's.
watchmaker. Wow, that was great. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
This is a new thing now. If you just got something interesting to say like that, just send it in.
Please do.
Yeah, don't even send. Don't wait. Oh, I've got something really interesting to share, but I've got no query or rest of that. No, we don't care.
No.
Give us your stuff.
That is pretty big news, though. That's really cool.
Yeah. Oh, wait, here's the feedback. What do you think of that story?
It's great.
There you go. Diddle hi, diddle ho. As the years have gone and having a few kids on, I don't have time to watch the wrestling as much as I used to. I catch the odd highlights on YouTube of Raw and SmackDown, but don't watch NXT or AEW. I get 90% of my wrestling information from you guys on the pod and news videos, and you keep me up to date. For this, I thank you.
Welcome.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Last weekend, I hurt my back, and my partner took the kids to grandparents, so I had some unexpected alone time. So I decided to catch up on the wrestling. After watching the majority of Raw and SmackDown, I dove in the world of NXT. Oh, no. And a few highlights from AEW. I now know what Come Tuesday is, due to you guys, but didn't know what he looked like, as I've never seen him. He looked exactly as I expected. Some other people, like Wesley, was a lot smaller than I thought, but had an impressive moveset. My question to you is, are there any wrestlers you heard about from word of mouth that look nothing like you'd expect, or maybe someone who wrestled a completely different style than you expected? Follow-up question, who in wrestling do you think would be the hardest to describe to a non-wrestling fan? Thanks to the podcast. I don't miss a single one. Adam Cole, no, not that one. Oh, thank you, Adam Cole, former midfielder for West Ham. Fantastic. Yeah, so I'm glad that you got to experience the joys of Come Tuesday.
Well, for a second, I don't believe for a second that you had some alone time and decided to use it to watch wrestling. We know.
Sip.
We know. In terms of the question.
So, yeah, what's someone who looked nothing like you expected?
Who like, you probably heard the name and weren't what you thought they would be.
Like, when hearing the name Lance Archer, Murderhawk, and not seeing what he was like, and hearing, he's just a big boy who likes to absolutely demolish people, which is absolutely true. But then seeing him wrestle and do like moonsaults and all that, I was like, are you having me on? Are you having me on?
Is she having a laugh?
And Keith Lee, for that matter, as well. Not really knowing too much about him and just being told, he's a really big, just really good wrestler, good in the ring and everything, and then actually seeing him and his speed and all his flips and this, that, and the other. Such a joy to watch. Such a joy to because I was never into the sort of the big beefy boys when I was younger. I was like, it's a little bit boring for me. But then seeing someone like that, like Keith Lee, just meshing these two styles together of stuff that I did like when I was younger, and then now this big beefy boy, I was like, ooh, very nice.
When I got back into wrestling, in 1999, I had 5 or 6 years off. I thought Goldust was like a light heavyweight style wrestler, judging by a picture that I had seen of this person in this fabulous sort of golden top to bottom attire, and I thought like a luchador style wrestler, without the mask. So I was very surprised, and I realised he's like 7'100". He's massive. He's massive. Yeah. So Goldust was the one for me that surprised me.
Okay.
How about thee?
Well, when I watched saw Amazing Red the first time after seeing like photos and power slam of him like mid flip and thought, ooh, looks cool. I'm watching and not realizing that he is about 3'5" with his big boots on. Obviously, he wrestles tremendously, but there's actually video clips of one of his debuts at the God knows what New York promotion it was, but it was at the Madhouse of Extreme in proper New York. He comes out and the crowd's going, ha ha ha, look at the band. They start doing his stuff and they go, oh, that band can wrestle. But because of watching those flippy early 2000s dudes in the indie scene, who I thought like the best because they could do like a shooting star press stood up, I then went and got like the Super J Cup 94. And I was like, wow, watching a proper Joshua and Liger match. And I was actually disappointed to begin with them because they weren't moving like the Amazing Red. So I'm like, I thought like these legendary cruiserweights that Power Slam was always going on about, like he was just going to be like doing 450 splashes with like just stood up, whatever. Like that's it. It's all about the flips and being like, oh, it's very slow paced this. I mean, he did one dive off the top. Best cruiserweight of all time. Yeah. Obviously now I'll watch it now and go, oh, right. Yeah, no, his style's amazing. It's just, I was just not, it's not the right time to be watching that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Incidentally, all Power Slam photos caught wrestlers mid-move or mid-word, which is something that we have discussed a few times on the classic SmackDown review. Like there'll be a fold-out poster of Sid Vicious, and it'd be Sid Vicious like mid-promo going,
yeah, like
or like a photo of Steve Austin sat at a signing table with his sunglasses on, looking down, but they've maximised it and blown it up so it goes across an A3 piece of paper.
Incredible.
Get that on your wall, lads. Thank you, Power Slam.
Oh.
Yep. Good times. Hey boys, man down here.
Oh boys.
Stop it, E.T. And I know you're recording on 420. And well, I thought I would be cool to ask a 420 friendly question. My question is, who in the wrestling business would you smoke with and why? Mine would be The Rock, because he would roast everyone and I would laugh my stoned ass off. Thanks, boys, for reading my question. Get all stoned, boys. And Maffew, we probably know how I'm feeling now as I'm on a brownie writing this. I can tell by your grammar. Bloody hell. Ha 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 ha. Man down from All Stoned CA. Is that a place? It's a horrible pun. P.S. I was on a brownie at SoFi Stadium WrestleMania 39 and did your intro on my Instagram. Have a great one, lads. I feel like we should name and shame this man. So, Armando Seguero.
Well, there you go. It's funny.
Still a better promo than Matt Riddle.
It's funny because he's stoned.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's get all stoned, boys.
I
Blaze
would
it.
like to blaze it 420 with Otis. Because as this kind person said here, they want to do it with The Rock because they think it'd be funny, which is a great, like, he would absolutely roast everybody. I feel like whilst The Rock would roast everybody, I feel like Otis would make a roast for everybody in the munchies phase of all this.
That's
stuff,
nice, actually.
You know what I mean? Because we've heard about his barbecues and all this kind of stuff. So I'd like to smoke with Otis.
That's a nice choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would do a doobie with Robert Van Dabbert because he'll probably be around with some mates, pass it around, and I'll just pretend to smoke it and then make my excuses and leave. What a boring answer from a boring human being. It ain't me bag. That's all good.
Yeah.
What about you?
I'd smoke with MJF until he got so high, started saying nice things about people.
That's quite good.
Matthew, let me break it down. Let me tell you who's really cool. Let me tell you who I deeply respect this business now. Wish he has nothing but the best. Oh, God, I'm so high right now. Thank you, pal. Hope you're still recovering from WrestleMania 39. Hi, lads. Been a fan since the Name Redacted days and of Botchamania before that, but never sent an email until now. How do you feel about the Triple H booking situation? His line about the story never ending has got me thinking that he, or WWE, no longer know how to finish a story. Plenty of stories offered so much promise, but other than Sami and Kevin winning the tag titles, so far, nothing's delivered. From Damage Guitar turning into the female core, to Bray Wyatt in general, and the ending of Mania being the silent disappointments. I don't want to get too downhearted, as I have enjoyed WWE more in the last 6 months than I have in years, I agree. But it's hard to stay invested when you have worries that the payoff could fall flat. I am genuinely interested to hear your thoughts. Do you feel like any of Hunter's stories have fully delivered since he took over at SummerSlam? Much love, former Man United, West Brom, Fulham, Sunderland, Aston Villa and Cardiff City defender midfielder, Kieran Richardson, a.k.a. Ben from Cardiff. Cheers, Ben.
Very nice.
Thank you, Ben.
Yeah, in terms of stories, Triple H does like a long title reign.
He does,
He likes
and I don't mind a long
Belair,
title reign.
Roman Reigns, obviously, Usos. He likes that. That's a good trope of his, and I'm like, yeah, hell yeah. In terms of stories, though, it's...
But I mean, technically, there have been stories. I mean, no, I was going to say Belair versus Damage Control, but we've kind of come back round to that.
I thought that was, like, it served its purpose.
Yeah.
It wasn't going to last... Not every group has to last forever.
No, exactly.
Sometimes they last 3 weeks in AEW.
And not every story has it's true. And not every story has to end with a big title change. Some stories end and they move on.
Yeah.
I think the common misconception is like the story ends when a title changes hands, and that's not necessarily always the way. You know, so I think the Belair Bailey feud was played out really well, and it ended. We're kind of going back to it sort of with Io Sky,
Yeah.
but
Well, I guess that's the thing. Maybe it's not necessarily the stories. It's more about the booking of the people within them rather than the story itself, if that makes sense.
I would say, like, I think we're all quick to forget how entertaining the entire Bloodline and Sami and Kevin and Usos and Solo and Heyman and any available wives when Heyman's in the vicinity from that one promo. How entertaining that was for weeks.
yeah.
Months upon end.
And I think it still is. I think there's still like there's elements to it since WrestleMania that I've really enjoyed, like the cracks in it that are now forming, and I like that. I think that it all bears on WrestleMania 40 for me. Like, if that's because that's clearly where Roman's losing it, and if he doesn't, then they genuinely can't end stories. Like, I didn't rage after Mania 39 because I kind of went, all right, I can see where this is going. If we get to Mania 40 and Roman still leaves with a title, then there's no forgiving that. There's no forgiving that.
And I guess maybe with the storyline stuff, that the Bloodline stuff has obviously been such a focal point. It's easy to maybe forget about some of the other things that are going on because that is like the big focus. And again, I guess that is maybe the story. The other storylines just aren't as you're not as invested in them, and I guess that is a problem within itself, definitely. But yeah, the Bray Wyatt stuff has definitely fallen flat. That's one that you can't argue. Unfortunately, it's something that I think a lot of us are excited for, and then. Who knows what's going to happen with that now? It
was so great. Like, the episode after that match at Rumble, LA Knight, how do you feel about... I don't want to talk about that again. Moving on.
Yeah.
And that was it.
It's so strange how, like, again, to come back to the part of the question, which is like, how I think Triple H is getting on booking wise. Like, he's brought back people that we wanted to see get a fair crack of the whip, like Karrion Kross, who we went. They brought him up as this weird gladiator. That was rubbish. Let's bring him up as Karrion Kross. Hey, there he is. Okay. Well, all right. I think there was maybe a point made that we didn't realise before. Bray Wyatt coming back and being told, all right, the floor's yours. Here's a creative team to work with. Off you go. Right. Okay. Maybe we need more of a filter here. I think Triple H is learning maybe like what Vince McMahon's filter is far too thick. Maybe we need somewhere in between.
Yeah.
Like
Smithers, I'm beginning to think Bray Wyatt isn't the great strategist I thought he was.
I think like it's been about a year now, and on the whole, I think the product's been a step up. Obviously, there's been glitches. It's not neither WWE nor AEW are perfect.
Wrestling has never been perfect.
Wrestling is never perfect. It's never perfect. No one show is 100% perfect every time. It doesn't happen that way.
Heatwave 98. But yeah, go on.
Fair shout. But there'll always be little. But I think overall, WWE have been really entertaining, and I've been doing this job with Cultaholic, thankfully, since 2019, and the last sort of 9 months of WWE has been the most fun I've ever had watching it, and not getting cross with it. it's been lovely.
Yeah.
So I'm okay. Whilst we're still waiting for some conclusive finishes to stories, I've enjoyed it.
Yeah. I enjoyed the chickens being thrown in. And even if Cody didn't win, it's still 100 times better than anything that happened during lockdown.
Yeah.
And most of the stuff happened before that.
Yeah.
Unless you're really excited for Roman Reigns and Baron Corbin feuding over dog food. So it could always be worse. Don't trust us. But those are some lovely questions, thoughts, and not even anything that required our contribution. That's a new additional feature. Talk about storytelling. Your emails and thoughts, which you can send to mailbag@cultaholic.com. Time for a quick wrist piss. Finger poke of doomsday device diddlers. What?
That's good.
Don't encourage them.
Well, oh.
I do believe that this is my first submission into Reese's Pieces for Cultaholic, so I hope it doesn't disappoint.
Well,
Oh no.
Been watching you lads since the Name Redacted days, and I've been a fan of Botchamania since accidentally stumbling upon it back in 2015. Oh, good. All those videos are down. Lately in wrestling, I've come to realize how important wrestling stables need to be for the business. Whether they're comic relief for the fans of entertainment, serious, hard, technical wrestlers for the ones who think it's still real to them. Damn it. That's a video Tom hasn't discovered yet. Or the underdogs, so the fans can have someone to relate to and root for. But remember, you're only as good as your weakest link. No. So for this wrist piss, I'm going to give you a list of wrestling stables, past and present, and have you boys either replace or add a member of the stable with a wrestler, past or present, to either make the stable better, worse, or mid. Well, let's hope we'll make it better.
right. Okay.
I like this.
I like
Let's make the
this one.
stable worse.
I stand
have a
down.
look.
It hasn't disappointed.
Let's have a look. Yeah, keep it up.
Yeah.
Team Angle replace Charlie Haas with either Brian Danielson, Chad Gable, or Timothy Thatcher.
Chad Gable.
Ooh. You see,
Immediately.
initially I'd say Chad Gable, but Timothy Thatcher in that mist. That'd be a different thing altogether, wouldn't it?
Yeah, Danielson and Gable are amazing, but I love Thatcher.
Okay.
And people are going to clip that, aren't they? People from the Northeast who love bringing up that guy. So I love Timothy. Bastard. The Heenan family replace King Kong Bundy with either Miro, Bronson Reed, or Keith Lee.
Keith Lee to be the mercenary for Bobby Heenan, and then the moment that Keith Lee sees the light of day and just drops Bobby Heenan would be a wonderful thing to watch.
Yeah.
But Hogan seeing Keith Lee and going, "Oh, brother, you're a big boy."
Imagine Keith Lee flipping spirit bombing Hulk Hogan and Hogan hulking up.
Oh, yeah. Who are we kidding? It's exactly what's going to happen. Yeah.
I'd say Keith.
I'll say Miro because he's big and foreign. 80s and early 90s, the license to print money for WWF. Yeah, exactly. Coffee sipping noises in the background. The Bloodline, add Rikishi, Yamanga, or heel 03 Rock.
Ooh.
So I presume because it didn't say to remove a member, so I think we're just adding a member.
Yeah, we can add one to this.
So I'm trying to think of the dynamic with
Or
Roman
replace
Reigns.
or add a member of the stable of wrestlers. Yeah, so
Because it'll say, yeah, I think adding Rikishi, because obviously he's the dad, and it's quite an interesting dynamic there of the dad just going, listen to your cousin.
I quite like the idea of Umaga. With
Yeah.
Solo and Umaga like teaming up and then them taking sort of like over from the Usos as Roman Reigns' faves.
see, I've been watching a lot of Next Generation Star Trek, and there's lots of storylines to do with Worf because he's a Klingon, but he works for the Federation. So it's like, you're not really sticking to your roots, are you, lads? And he's just like, yeah, but this is who I am, and all this. He's the better of identity. So I like the idea of Umanga being part of the stable and him be like, this is what we should be, lads. We should all be tattooed and walk around with no shoes
that's
on.
a good
You're not
shout.
real Samoans. I'm real Samoan. And then Solo's like, yeah, what do I want to be? Like, Anyway.
Umanga and 03 Rock in there. Umanga going, this is what we should be, and the Rock going, shut up, Rock. I'm gonna get in the limo. Rock.
Here, Rock,
Off to a premiere.
I'll think about it. You know, getting limo down the street.
Umanga going, no, Rock, you can't leave the island.
The Hart Foundation. Oh, it says replace British Bulldog. Well, you're doing so good. With either Lance Storm, Sami Zayn or Kyle O'Reilly? I didn't even know he was Canadian. Shows how much I'm paying attention to him. Sorry, pal.
Oh, technicality, I'll say Kyleth O'Reilly. Although, really, it should be Lance Storm, but I think Kyle O'Reilly.
I love that they've got Bulldog and Lance Storm. Lance Storm, maybe one of the few wrestlers who's worse on the mic than Bulldog.
I mean, adding Sami Zayn, but then I mean, you've got a lot of sort of dueling. You got a lot of charisma all of a sudden bursting into the Hart Foundation with Bulldog going. You've got Sammy, Owen, and Pillman.
I mean, God. The road stories alone are going to be making it worth. The match is going to suck, but like after the fact, it's going to be amazing.
I'm putting Sami Zayn in there just for the card. It's just so Bret Hart goes, I could talk as well. Can't we, Jim? Shut up, Jim. You let me down.
I am keeping Bulldog. Shut up. Mystery of Darkness. Replace The Undertaker.
Nice.
What? With Malachi Black, Bray Wyatt. Oh, no, it gets better. Bray Wyatt, which is funny enough. Or Joe Gacy.
Joe Gacy. Get Gacy in there.
The Ministry of Darkness.
Yeah.
Oh,
Love is blind. I'll never leave you. Get Gacy in there.
I'll go for Malachi Black.
Well, that's wrong.
Wow.
That's just silly.
Sorry.
You're all silly.
Why'd you pick the silliest choice?
Gacy in it, man.
I'll pick Bray Wyatt. In 99, it didn't really matter, did it?
I like that idea, Bray Wyatt.
Undertaker's promos, Ministry of Darkness, were like, the Legion of the Dead. So Bray Wyatt just goes bollocks promos he always does now, and no one would notice a bloody difference.
Put him on the symbol.
Just
Not that one.
oh my God!
Bang, bang, bang. He is on fire today.
That was good.
No, don't try and drum up support, Austin.
Don't be basist.
Oh my God.
You are based.
You'll have to listen to my glockenspiel. Oh, that was all right. Sorry, I'm sorry. The Hurt Business. I'd book
Pull
it.
out McGlock.
That was way better. I'm sorry. I thought Spiel or whatever. Booker T, Montez Ford, or Moose.
For the Her Business.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Moose. I kind of like Montez Ford being in there. And I'm sorry, but basically, anytime I try and book a stable, my end goal is, right, who splits off from them immediately?
Yeah.
Montez Ford, I think, comes in under the watch of MVP, but akin to The Rock in The Nation, just becomes too big a character for the stable to contain.
That's a good shout.
I can see that, and I don't want Booker T anywhere near the Hurt Business. MVP, one of the finest talkers in the game, and Booker T. Moose, I just can't see it. He's like, hi, I'm Moose. I'm near crack whatsoever. Yeah, Montez Ford. Because he's great. Legado del Fantasma. Would you add Commander, El Geo del Vikingo, or Dragon Lee? Oh, come on, man.
Dragon Lee.
I was thinking Dragon Lee as well.
No, I want Legado del Fantasma to wrestle those three. That's what I want.
I think Dragon Lee to lead a Splinter.
Dragon Lead.
I would only have Dragon Lee as long as he beats another AEW tag team for the belts. That was so funny. El Geo del Vikingo, because he's great. I love him. The Commander's great as well. The Elite. Add Adam Page. What? Is he not in the bloody
Because he's
Elite?
technically not in the Elite.
I think he means like Omega and the Bucks.
Yeah.
Make them a foursome.
Okay. Ooh. Cody Rhodes. Well, a bit late for that. Oh, Kota Ibushi.
Take Ibushi.
This is some hot takes here in this one. No, they're like friends and mates. Don't you want to like have...
No, but then Ibushi's quite
I know,
nice. Again, my thing of
then
I'm
you've
making a
got-
group who splits them up, and Ibushi coming in as like the ex-boyfriend of
Yep.
Kenny Omega.
Kenny and Ibushi get together.
They're all the exes. They all like, kissed each other backstage.
yeah.
So I mean,
I think Ibushi kind of has a style that would blend nicely and feel just about the same, but just about different, and has a special connection with Kenny Omega that the others don't have.
Yeah.
it's just a dating sim with all these lads going on.
Yeah.
Um,
Waifu.
Yeah, he's got it.
Is that it
He's
right
got
now?
Yeah, why?
Oh, well done, yes.
Oh, how's that for a story arc of the podcast? Can't figure out what
All right,
waifu
Triple
meant.
H.
Look at me ending a story, Triple H. Try it sometime.
I like the idea of Cody joining up, like, hey guys, and like, what?
Yeah, just back.
Friends. Like, were we friends okay.
Like that episode of Seinfeld where George just sat back down. I was like, yeah, I never left my job.
Yeah, that's it. Quits on Friday, comes back Monday, goes, I didn't quit. It's like, no, you're that. No. What are you talking about? Yeah. The Nexus, the original 7. Oh, God.
Wow.
Replace Mason Ryan
Never.
with Powerhouse Hobbs, Brian Cage, or Wardlow.
Wardlow.
Yeah, I would say
Because they really wanted to push Mason Ryan and they realised he was just like, yeah, there
Not
wasn't
good.
much about him. But then Wardlow has bags of potential. Let's get him in there.
I'm saying Powerhouse Hobbs.
Powerhouse.
I only half deliberately messed that up, and then I accidentally messed it up. Yeah, Powerhouse Hobbs, because I think he's mint.
Yeah.
And if only AEW knew what to do with him instead of spinning around like a compass in a magnet factory, then. And finally, Legacy. Replace Ted DiBiase Jr. With Bron Breakker, Dominic Mysterio, or Hook.
Oh.
That's a good one.
I'm going to say Bron Breakker. I think Bron Breakker's a guy that could probably be a bit more malleable under that. I think that Cody breaking away from the group, Bron could be a good muscle to teach him a lesson for doing so.
Oh,
The Manu role.
That's a
It's
good.
the Manu roll. It's the Manu roll. Manu! OSW talk about Manu always makes me smile. Manu!
I'm gonna go Bron as well.
Yeah?
I think Bron would be really good. And then you can also see if they do break away, I could have seen a more what's the words? Yep, the words just escape me. I feel like Bron Breakker versus Randy would have been a more convincing
Yes.
match to tell after the breakup.
Because whilst Breaker's
of that.
young, he's a physical threat.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm sad that he hasn't put Von Wagner in here.
Oh, second gen.
You know, my dad, come back, Robert. My dad was in Beverly.
My dad has a computer.
My dad has a computer.
Dom hasn't got. There's no goth women in 09, as far as I remember. Sorry, no giant goth women.
They only landed on planet Earth in 2015.
They've only been domesticated the last few years. Can't drink milk. Or Hook. I can't see Hook. Like the famous legacy of WWE wrestling superstars, Cowboy Bob Orton, Dusty Rhodes, Taz. It wouldn't work in WWE.
It would mean
sadly.
WWE showing respect to Taz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So no.
Remember when we hated you? Yeah, you're a legend now. I'll tell you. So Bron Breakker by default. The two sweetest words in the English language. Thanks for everything that you all do. You guys are part of the reason I enjoy wrestling. Oh, and have helped me through so much through the pandemic that I am immensely grateful. Wish for nothing but success to all of you. Keep doing what you lads do best. Much love, Jonathan from Orlando, Florida, a.k.a. Gengar the Ghost. That's from Pokemon. A.k.a. the random man with the pudding enjoyment noises sign at WrestleMania.
way.
Take a boo. Take a boo, son.
Thank you.
That's amazing.
Oh.
Reese Peace enjoyment noises.
Yes. Gengar enjoyment noises from us to you. Thank you very much for the Reese's Pieces. Thank you very much for the love. And if you have Reese's Pieces that you want to send us, please feel free. Mailbag at cultaholic.com.
It's Cultaholics.
What a lovely podcast.
Isn't it just a lovely podcast?
It certainly is. And look at the lovely people we'll be spending it with. Not just you two lovely people, but the lovely producers as well. Chris Routh, Mike
Routh.
Staley. Thank you very much for doing that. Reno 2200.
2200.
Yay. And Noah Anderson. That's the thing you used to do in 07, 08, by the way, Tom. And I'm discovering cool things about wrestling.
I'm just learning. I'm a youngster learning about this wrestling malarkey.
Bless you. So the big question this week is, what is the current best WWE stable? Because there's so many good ones.
Chase you. Thanks for watching.
That's right.
Please comment down below.
That was, I mean, they've done as good. Done as good in that Triple Jump thing. Just saying.
we are counting Raw, SmackDown, NXT.
Absolutely.
Okay, that's fine.
Because it will be canon
Right.
soon with the draft.
Because I think everybody say, oh, there'll be people screaming Bloodline right now, and I think it's
They shouldn't scream that. That sounds bad.
As they should. Bloodline. Where they're on a bus. Bloodline. Because obviously that's a stable that's been beautifully put together and built over the last couple of years to
Yeah.
the point where they're at now, where they're on the verge of cracking.
I just thought like bloodline.
You want it?
Damn it. Yeah, you're right. It's been such a bloody wonderful stable since Roman Reigns' return as the mega guy we know and love him as now, the tribal chief.
And it's one that can exist without the head of the stable there and still be a threat.
Yeah, especially with Solo there now, for sure. Absolutely.
Sometimes Roman Reigns' most effective appearances have been on the other end of the phone with Heyman pretending to talk to him.
I like. I mean,
We should, so Bloodline. So let's just have a little run through of who
Well, we bring
is
this up
Sydney
because
Zoo.
of the stable wars happening before the draft happens with Heyman bringing on Judgment Day.
Yeah.
Bringing a sub on.
It's been an interesting time for the Judgment Day. Edge brought them in and started that whole thing off. And it was him and Damian Priest, and then Rhea Ripley, and then they were feuding with Finn Balor until Finn Balor went, "All right, I'll hop in here."
Yeah, they won their first big pay-per-view match and they instantly turned on Edge.
Yep.
Booted him
Thanks
out.
for the success. We don't need you anymore.
But it worked for them, though. You know,
Yeah.
I think it really worked in their favor, and now they've got Dom, and like, not heard a heat magnet like that in WWE for a long time.
Before they had Dom, I'm like, all right, they're just the lads, the Putty Patrol, as Tom brought up earlier. As soon as they got Dom and Ripley, and you just heard wait, what's that noise? That sounds suspiciously like massive heat.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It took them a little while to find it, but how weird. You wouldn't have predicted that adding Dominic Mysterio over Edge was what would make the Judgment Day such a strong faction all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Well, he had to put a lot of work in. I mean, he was in prison for so long.
He certainly was, bless his soul.
People on Twitter, no, this is dumb. He hasn't been to prison. That was so great that we could happen. This is ridiculous.
I feel like they're also a stable that will outlast the Bloodline at this point. I feel like the Bloodline is on the verge of separating, and you could easily have them outlast them.
It's funny because the Bloodline, you're like, wow, there's so much tension that they have to win. The Usos might be throwing out the family. You know, the island of Samoa, if Roman Reigns has his way, the head of the table. When Judgment Day is like,
We lose every week.
Yeah.
we lose every week. We lose every week.
Okay, come here, Bloodline. We lose every week.
Thank you, Tom, for thinking of something.
I
Rather
like
than
the
two of us say something completely different.
I like the idea of them picking up the scraps as well. Like, once the Bloodline's done, they just like lift themselves into that spot of like, oh, well, we're the top faction now, aren't we? Really?
We're the best boys
yeah.
now.
And Dom had one of the most matches. Like, it was a match that I was most excited for over WrestleMania weekend as well.
Oh, I
with
was
him and
mega
his
hyped.
dad,
Yeah, yeah.
and it was so good as well. Like, genuinely, really, really good. So yeah, at one point with that faction where I'd have been like, I'm not that bothered now. I like it when they're on TV.
Yeah.
I really do.
We can't really put the LWO as the best faction, just because they seem to be getting beaten up quite a lot lately. But
Sell a lot of T-shirts, apparently.
they do. So I'm not surprised.
They
They
probably
do.
sold more LWO shirts now than WWE did when they had them.
They're probably Do you think that's the case?
I've just made that number up.
Oh, that's fair enough.
But it's very believable, isn't it?
Masks and T-shirts, they are merch machines, LWO,
Yes.
whether they win or whether they lose. What do you think they need to do to be more considered to us dirty, smelly wrestling fans as like one of the top factions in WWE?
I mean, they've not really been given. They've only just been a thing again, haven't they? Really?
United through wearing T-shirts.
Yeah. So there's still time for it to develop. How that happens, I don't know. Yeah, just win matches, I guess.
I think Ray's like, well, I'm no longer traveling with Dom, so I need someone to carry me back. I'm not going to do it.
Needs to be Santos booting Ray out. I know all my storylines involve stables ripping apart at the seams. Santos seizing power.
What do you think about Dom joining the Bloodline?
Oh, was it Dom joining the LWO then? I was like, yes!
That would be like, hey, Dad. He's like, what? No, I joined you guys to get away from him. But like,
No,
just like Roman Reigns is like, just because his promo box, he's like, all right, you didn't win the tag titles again. Solo, you couldn't beat Riddle. In fact, to call the big guns and like, not The Rock, bigger than that. Not Rikishi. No, not the Haiti kid, whoever he's doing nowadays. No. Dom.
Dominic Mysterio.
Dom and Danes. Dom and Danes?
Dom. Dom. Michael Cole, oh my God, the worst stable in history. I hate you, Dom.
Here comes the big little dog. It would involve Dom leaving the Judgment Day, and that would do irreparable damage.
That's how Roman Reigns splits up the Judgment Day because he fears them.
So he takes Dom out.
Look, it's daddy or chip situation, all right? Rhea Ripley or Universal title shot. You'll never leave me, will you, Dom? Dom? Dom?
Other factions that aren't the best, but let's just chuck the names around.
Well, again,
Chase U.
Ironically, the highlight of NXT. That's all I have to say about that. Am I drinking the Kool-Aid? I think I am at this point, really. But Delightful Hudson, Andre Chase, even Thea Yell.
I love her.
Why?
I just like. There was the scene the other week where Bron came into the ring and she was like jogging on the spot trying to get to him, and they were holding her back. And I was like, oh, you're
she's scrappy do.
Scrappy do. I love
like Fraser likes her.
She's great. But yeah, Chase U I think is unironically becoming a force to be reckoned with.
I mean, other factions within the company, we've got Damage Control, which maybe haven't landed quite as well with a lot of people.
I think that if their idea of them was to feud with Becky, then yay, jobs are good.
Yeah.
But now it's like, okay, we've done this for a while now, so
now
it's time to do something different.
It feels like they're going there with it now, though, with EO picking up the win.
A nice natural ending, so it'll
Yeah.
probably happen 6 months down the line.
Yeah. Schism?
We haven't mentioned Schism yet.
For good reason.
Yeah.
It's one of them where, like, the Joe Gacy development is so weird. It started out as this guy who was like every worst nightmare on social media, where safe space and get cancelled and all this stuff. And then it became Spoopy Boy and Friends.
It was so funny, that original version, because it was so weirdly done. Like I said, the tone was completely off, like that JC Jane promo. It's like, haha, your mother died. Disney Plus. It was like that weird style. So I'm like, wait, are they doing it ironically? Is he like I'm a nice guy, I'll be in my safe space. Like, oh, this is really highbrow. And it wasn't. It was just like, ha, look at this lefty. But it was just the tone was so wrong. You're like, look, if they're ironically do it, this could be really. Oh no, it's just crap. Okay, fair enough.
So they made him spooky. Took one of the best tag teams to come out of the UK in a long time, and went, right, you are now with them, and here's the Rock's daughter.
Look how they massacred my boys.
Look at the massacred my birds.
I thought I could do a better impression than that. I'm very sorry.
I don't know if there's any saving Schism at this point.
It is funny though that they had. It was reported by Sean Ross Sapp they requested their release, and I swear I remember it being shown that they'd received it. They're still on TV to this day, so I must have been reading complete bollocks. Don't believe everything you read online, I guess. But now they've got no eye stuff in, and they're talking normally, and they're like, "You, Gallus, we're going to be wrestling you."
Maybe,
and there's not even any. We're not spooky bollocks anymore.
Maybe that's it. They've just sort of wound it back a little bit for their good. Diamond Mine could have been a thing, like the concept behind Diamond Mine, which was, if you remember, Roderick Strong bringing in some young lads.
And what was it? The Japanese wrestler was there for a cup of coffee.
Oh, there was a whole different lineup for the first time they witnessed, and they went, "Yeah, they've all been
I
released."
literally can't remember who it was.
So here's some new boys.
But he did a scathing summary of his time there in NXT. It was quite funny.
He was unhappy.
He was like, "What the hell was I doing here?"
What was that about?
I don't know where Roddy Strong is. I hope he's all right. He's been off TV for a long time now. There's been no announcements for him.
Very conspicuous by his absence there.
But
because I think the Diamond Mine is just kind of like an idea now rather than a faction, which is a shame. Maximum Male Models. Why haven't we mentioned Maximum Male Models? Were they would you say they're a faction or a team? I guess I would always class a faction as like more than 2 members.
Right, that's what I do.
So maybe that's why we're not classing them as a faction.
And also,
until Ortiz joins full time.
And also, you need to wrestle on TV occasionally.
I mean, there is.
Sorry,
There is that, sadly. But it's all considered. It's Bloodline, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
All considered.
The earth-shattering conclusion of this is that the Bloodline is, and as you said many times, though, Tom, after this thing gets settled, if Roman Reigns ever does in fact lose a title, then Solo's like, okay, time to turn this Solo into a band or whatever. Hopefully, he won't say something as dumb as that. But like, it's like I'm
time to go solo.
Yeah.
Time to go low.
Time to go now.
YOLO.
I'm riding solo. Solo.
Yeah, he'll be a really nice position to either smash Roman Reigns daft or take over his position in the Bloodline.
I'm sure there's lots of stables and stuff and bits that we've missed, which people will let us know about down
the 4 Doinks.
The 4 Doinks. Finest faction there ever was, I'll have you know.
The Mean Street Posse.
and all the joy that came with that.
Yeah.
So there you go, bloodline, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you
Think
go.
so.
Both got Rhea Ripley in the thumbnail, and that's all that matters. Thanks for the clicks. Well, I've had a bloody lovely time with the pair of you. Thank you very much for showing up.
Thank you.
Like some. So we'd like to plug whatever you've got on tap for us until the next podcast.
Sadly, no classic SmackDown review this week. We're back together next week. We'll have a watch along of No Mercy 2001. As we are deep into the Alliance versus WWF storyline on the podcast feed. You can listen back to back episodes right now by subscribing to the podcast feed of Cultaholic, where you also get daily news podcasts, exclusive interviews, classic review shows, and loads of other good stuff.
What about your good self, Andrew?
Well, you can go and watch, if you've not already watched it, you can go and watch our 9 pitches for who should defeat Roman Reigns for his undisputed Universal Championships. It was myself, Tom and Ross. It was a very good time. You and Ross had some remarkable final pitches
I think,
that you'll have to watch.
I think this is why Ross is off this week. I think his head exploded.
He's got to
after writing
recover.
That pitch,
oh,
yeah.
absolutely. He's got to recover from that. So do go and watch that if you've not already seen it. And on Mondays, twitch.tv/Cultaholic at 6 p.m. We're doing the female My Rise. We're doing the women's My Rise career mode with Betty the Butcher.
Wait, what's my rise?
It's like the career mode for
In
2K23.
I'm not calling it that.
And it's with Betty the Butcher, who is basically just a big ham. But she's a cruiserweight. She's
Oh,
the
Tom-
biggest cruiserweight you've ever seen.
So Tom then, all right.
How dare you! How dare you!
Maffew.
I pumped out a Botchmania like last week, so I'll be in a week until another one comes out. I'm reading Bret Hart's book on Sundays at 7 p.m. We're getting there. By God, we'll be getting there. Now we have to beat Roman Reigns before he loses the title. We're at 94. He's just been screwed by Hogan and Vince. He still doesn't get it. Now he's going to get screwed by everybody else. And now he's going to get screwed by audiences not being interested in him. So
Has he had sex with a woman again recently?
he's like, I had a great time. It was great meeting my wife. I missed her the next weekend, though, so I had sex with a nice woman I met at the bar. I forgave myself. There was a lovely breast crushed up against my back and she hugged me. It felt good.
I forgave
Brett is so
myself.
Brett.
I forgive me.
Yeah.
for having an affair.
Yeah, he's
What a
just
guy.
like that.
Jam-up
gents.
guy.
Okay, I'll also be watching Mrs. Doubtfire when I get in. 'Cause
Yes!
all this talk is going to be I wonder if this film is still good. And I've just remembered that the thing I forget every time I'll rewatch it. Pierce Brosnan's in it.
He is.
He is.
And he chokes in it.
That's it.
Do you remember the dinner?
Yeah.
Or is it by? It's like by the
No,
swimming pool or
because
something?
she puts prawns in
was
his
it.
food and it gives him an allergic reaction. He has to, help is on the
It's
way,
like,
dear.
Help is on the way.
But I remember
dear."
she goes past the car he's got. What is it? It's like an Aston Martin or
It's
what is
no,
it?
it's a posh one. It's a Mercedes.
Mercedes.
She snaps.
Oh.
So he goes, oh, look, would you look at that? And he's like, oh, comes right up.
Somebody took this off the lovely
Yes,
car
sir.
outside. That's your car. I wouldn't bring a nice car around here.
See, I miss all that.
The juxtaposition with Mrs. Doubtfire is that Pierce Brosnan's not a nasty character. Like, he's actually, like, not perfect, but, like, means well to the family.
Yeah.
Whereas, I think if you made this film now, they'd make him, like, an evil tycoon or
Yeah,
something.
for sure.
Whereas, it's like, he's just a nice man who wants
Tom,
to date...
he's got a Mercedes.
Yeah,
what
but-
more do you want him to do? Like,
evil man with a merc.
it's clearly that's it.
Clearly an evil
It's a gas
boy.
guzzler.
Who's killing the environment, do you?
Oh, no.
I eat wood. Da-na-na-na-na-na.
Aye.
It tastes good. Da-na-na-na. No meat. A beef eat. I eat wood. Da-da-da-da-da.
I'm a raptor doing what I can. Anyway, for more bollocks, join us next week where there'll be 50% less quotes of Mrs. Doubtfire.
Rubbish, innit?
This has been Tom. This has been Andrew. This has been the beautiful Dan. And
Da-da-ba
this has
by the glass.
been... That's not what he said.
Behind
But
the
thank you very much. The lot of you, this has been Puppet Jack. He's been rubbish. Thank you very much. We're going to now point at this and think of something to say. Is it going to be Mrs. Doubtfire? quote?
Oh dear.
Yes, we'll do the hello dear on 3. 1, 2, 3. Well, hello dear.
He was a drive-by fruiting.